Hello, everyone. This is Tyler McMillan here, host of the Basement Podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to take a couple minutes to thank some of our friends and sponsors out there that are helping make the Basement Podcast possible. First up, we've got Rollin' Dough Pizza located in Tompkinsville, Kentucky. Rollin' Dough's got fresh dough, loaded toppings, and some of the best pizza around. To me, Rollin' Dough's one of those places that you go for the whole experience and not just a place that you go because you're hungry. Rollin' Dough's ran by a great family. They've got great food, and it's a great atmosphere. Next up, we'd like to give a big shout-out to our friends down at the Eatin' Table, one of our newer sponsors. The Eatin' Table is located just outside of Gamel, Kentucky. If you're looking for a great home-style cooked meal, that's the place to go. The Eatin' Table offers burgers, daily specials, steak dinners, breakfast foods. They've got the whole package. Personally, the Eatin' Table's got some of my favorite breakfast food in the whole area. So if you're looking for a good breakfast in the morning with a good coffee, stop by the Eatin' Table. Either way, if you're in the area, next time you're deciding where you want to eat, stop by Rollin' Dough Pizza or cruise on down to Gamel and stop by the Eatin' Table. Make sure that when you do, you let them know that your friends down at the Basement Podcast sent you. So thank you guys. Now let's get into the episode.
We're in the basement. We're in the basement. We're in the basement. I said we're in the basement. And if you're not in the basement, you need to be in the basement right now, because you're missing out. We're in the basement, and if you're not in the basement, you need to be in the basement right now. Tompkinsville, Kentucky, Center Point Road.
All right, and everybody, welcome back to the Basement Podcast with episode number 7 coming your way. I've got a special guest for everybody today. I'm really excited about having on, getting caught up with my buddy. This next guest that we've got was an ex-teammate of mine, an not classmate, but we went to school together, an ex-roommate of mine, and a good friend for a very long time, and current Kentucky State Police, Mr. Trent Tooley. So, Trent, take just a second, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Yeah, Tyler and I, we go way back. Played football together, college roommates. I played at Lindsey Wilson for about the same time you did, and did some teaching together too as I was going to be a teacher. But yeah, a little bit about me. Currently 33 years old. Married with a kid, Jet. My wife's Riley. We live out in Summershade, Kentucky, where I grew up. Been a Kentucky State Trooper now for 3 years, going on 3 years, right at it. Before that, I worked at Glasgow Police Department started at Glasgow in 2021. I believe I went to the State Police 2023. Before that, I've kind of done a little bit of everything there for a few years. But before that, I was actually going to school to be a teacher. And obviously did a lot of my time at the Monroe County Middle School where you were.
Yeah.
I was wanting to go into social studies, language arts.
Yeah, I left ex-coworker off the list.
Yeah, that's right. And, and before that, I was in the United States Army, paratrooper, Fort Bragg. I was military police. And I loved football in school, played football as a Falcon, just like you did, and I enjoyed that. Played, golf through a lot of my life. Probably my biggest hobby now is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh yeah,
that's my life now.
Yeah.
My son's life. It's kind of a bonding tool that we use. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I like to hunt, and that's about it.
Well, it's great to see you, man. It's great to see you. You and I go way back since before middle school, I guess. I have so many memories of us playing football together and you coming out to the house and playing cornhole and playing pitch and living together in college, man. We've got so many memories. I don't guess we'll get into all those in this next couple-hour window. But I try to keep up with you on social media and whatnot and see what you're doing. And I guess just my first question for you is, like, at what point did you know that, like, Kentucky State Police was the route you were going to take?
Well, since I was a young boy, my dad was in law enforcement. And they always say a lot of times you follow in your father's footsteps.
Yeah.
And actually, for the longest time, I wanted to be a game warden. That's what I actually wanted to be in school.
I remember that, too.
And I went through a few different things. You know, I thought about pharmacy, pre-pharmacy, and some other things. But I kind of just felt like law enforcement was going to be where I would end up.
Yeah.
I wanted to go into the military to kind of, you know, see the world, you know, just kind of get out of this Monroe County, just kind of small town, just see what's out there. And it was an excellent prerequisite for law enforcement when I got out. When I actually met Riley's, when I started looking on the KSP website, I actually remember getting on there to fill out a, you know, pre-resume or whatever, apply. And I didn't that year. And while I was working, I forgot to say, I was working at the post office while I was, you know, going to school to be a teacher. I actually got the opportunity. I applied at Glasgow PD. That's where Dad started. And I thought, well, I'll try local first, because I had done the military police and the Army. And I actually got offered a job at Glasgow Police Department, and I took it, and I loved it. But I knew when I went in at GPD, and I think everybody that worked there with me knew I wanted to be a trooper.
Yeah.
And I actually left local law enforcement early. I paid my contract out to go to the state police. Okay. Working around those guys, you know, it was just different. You know, when the troopers came on scene, like, you could tell everybody there knew, you know, the state police is here. You know, they always squared away. Uniforms look perfect. I mean, it's just what I wanted to do. You know.
Now, are you based out of Post 65 or are you out of Bowling Green?
Post 15 out of Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did I get 65? Did it used to be Post 65?
No. There's Post 3 is Bowling Green and Post 15 is Columbia.
I guess I'm just getting my numbers crosswired. So you are out of Columbia?
I am.
Do you do, like, what would be your like patrol area out of Columbia?
So I'm assigned to, when I first started out, I was assigned to Clinton Cumberland, and I was super lucky, because most troopers, when they were, you know, graduate the academy, they'll put them away from home. They have to live away from home. Like, most of them some of them went to Harlan, just varied, wherever you were needed. Yeah. And I got super fortunate to be able to come back to my home, close to my hometown. So Clinton Cumberland was my counties for the first several months. Yeah. And I actually, one day I looked at the schedule, and I was Metcalf Monroe. Nobody really even asked me when I got, but you know, I was fortunate, and I've been there ever since, and worked in my hometown. It's pretty cool working in your hometown.
Man, I like just thinking about law enforcement. I could ask you a million questions, but I know, of course, we don't have time for all that. Do you keep up with, like, Joe Rogan's podcast at all?
I've watched several.
I've gotten on a big kick where I go through, like, Rogan's episodes, and I find other podcasts, and I like watching, like, anybody involved with law enforcement, and I've gotten really into, like, the undercover guys, like the guys that go, like, deep undercover. Like,
I've heard a few of those. I'm not sure if it was Joe's, but I've listened to a few of those, like, on other podcasts.
Have you ever seen the Donnie Brasco movie? It's got
I
Johnny Depp in it. He, like, infiltrated the mafia. I think it was, like, maybe one of the deepest undercover operations. Like,
okay, I'll have to catch it.
The dude that played Donnie Brasco, he actually goes on. Not the dude that played Donnie Brasco. The dude that it was based on actually went on Rogan's podcast and, like, gave his spiel. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
So would you? So you going from local law enforcement into the state police, would you recommend that? Do you think that's more beneficial to do it that way, or do you think it's kind of indifferent?
So I'm not going to say it's better, but I'm going to say that the takeaway from my experience, it was an excellent thing to do, because going into local law enforcement, there's things that you don't really do as much. Now, I'm not saying you won't do them, but like applying for an EPO, I used to have to do that myself.
Yeah.
Now someone does it for me at the local level. So things like that I learned how to do as a local that I may to this day still not be able to do. And it helped me with troopers that I graduated with, helping them on things like that, how to do it.
Yeah.
And I found myself in the academy helping out a lot of guys, I ended up going, so they have a LEAPS class, which is if you're prior law enforcement, you only have to go for 13 weeks up to Trooper Isle, and then you graduate. You'll come back and graduate with the whole class, but you don't have to do the last 11 weeks.
Okay.
I chose not to do that. If I would have waited and finished my contract out, I would have been eligible to do that, but I chose to just go through the whole class, so I did do the whole 24 weeks. But I did enjoy that time. I got to help a lot of those newer guys that hadn't been in law enforcement. So I think it was an excellent choice for me to do that.
Well, it seems like you've got like a great background for it. Former military, former local law enforcement, transition into state police. Is that what you are looking at long term, or is there like maybe doors you're planning on going through, opportunities you're looking to work into in the future?
I know that talking to a lot of the people that are now sergeants, the troopers are now sergeants in the state police and even above, they'll tell you that they said the same thing. But as of right now, my long-term goal is to do nothing more than work the road my entire career. I love the road. I love helping people. That's why I got into this occupation. I know that the general public doesn't always see it that way. But that is my goal. You know, every DUI that I get off the road, it's a life that I could have saved. Every child that I can help that's in domestic violence issues or any spouse, that's hopefully a life that I could save. But and my longest, I guess the trooper that I always looked up to, my role model of a trooper was Bobby Maxwell. He's still working the road to this day.
Really?
I don't want to butcher his years, but it's over 30 years of service. Wow. He's still at Post 15. Yeah. And he's getting ready to leave the state police, so that's going to be kind of rough for me when he leaves. I've always looked up to him. He's the guy that I've always called to ask questions to. So we'll definitely miss Bobby, but he was the trooper that I always looked up to, and that's what he did. His entire career, he's worked the road. He's helped a lot of people over the years.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, if you were to look for opportunities down the road, what are some of the possibilities for someone in your position?
Well, you've got several options. You can become a sergeant. You can promote to sergeant, lieutenant, up to captain. Yeah. You can go that route all the way up to the commissioner, or you can go and specialize. You can be a detective. A lot of guys like to do that. You could go be on the you could go to the executive detail, so you could go to Frankfurt and guard the governor.
Oh yeah,
that'd be a cool detail. And then you got DESIs, like drug enforcement.
Yeah.
And they kind of do the undercover gig too and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's several routes in the state police, and you've also got for those that like that, like cyber, e-crimes, which is electronic crimes branch. So just so many opportunities. I'm sure I'm missing several.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know the difference if you were. So what does a day in your life look like when you're on duty, when you clock in till you clock out?
So, Dad and I have discussed this many times. I think one reason that they say the number one, killer of police officers is heart disease.
Yeah.
You're always, you're on this roller coaster, right? You don't know what's coming next.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as that radio turns on, you get in your car and you call in service, 10-8. You don't know what's coming in that shift. You're planning to go out and start running traffic, for highway safety, speed, seat belts, the lifesavers, DUIs, doing that. And then you never know, as soon as I go 10-8, they may give me a domestic, or they may give me anything. you just don't know what that day is going to consist of. But I'll take calls for service, and obviously I'm running traffic any other time that I'm not doing that or following up on cases that I have.
So like what do you think your patrol like area is in a day? Like what are your hours like first?
So like we work 4 10-hour shifts.
So on a 10-hour shift, like how many miles do you think you put in in a 10-hour shift?
I don't want to butcher that and tell you wrong. Several. I can remember times when I was in Bug Tussle. I remember this one time that I believe I was in Flippin when it came out, and I got a call all the way on the far side of Albany.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I had to run signal to that.
Yeah.
Signal means lights and sirens.
Yeah,
that's a long way to run signal. But yeah, so I've put a lot of miles on in several shifts. I would guess probably over 100 miles a day easy. I would say if you're being proactive.
Yeah. So do you spend much time in Monroe County now, or are you mainly?
Oh yeah, Monroe and Metcalf, where those are my assigned counties. That's where I mostly.
So you're not Clinton Cumberland anymore. You're Monroe. Metcalf.
No, but that is part of my squad, and sometimes I go over there and help out too.
So and you said the post number in Bowling Green's 3.
That's Bowling Green post 3. That
are there ever like situations where like post 15 and post 3 have to collaborate? Like
I've actually helped out post 3 troopers where Metcalf County's on the Barron County line. I've went over with consent from my supervisor to do so.
Where's your dad at now? Is he a post 15?
So my dad has a little bit different kind of area. He goes to do details in Louisville where he's vehicle enforcement. He goes all over the place.
Okay.
So he definitely does a lot more different areas than I do.
So is that kind of like what the DOT role used to be, or is that still?
I think I would have to ask him on this because when I was a kid, I really didn't ask him where he was going. Or
I just remember like in high school, so you'd see that DOT car and like everybody knew it was Casey.
Right. But yeah, Dad's been doing that. He's been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I don't say wrong, but 2012 or 13ish, maybe earlier than that. He's been in vehicle enforcement with the state police.
I still see Casey quite often. Well, in the winter mainly. I'm sure he's like golfing now, but the Thursday night pool games, I try to make it out there. They'll have it at like Merle Collins or Cody Yorks or Terry York, Terry Evans.
Dad's a jack of all trades. I can say this.
I think we were just at your dad. I think we were at Casey's house like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago playing pool.
I can say this about Dad. There's not been many times that I've always said this: if you give him a pair of hockey skates and a stick and a hockey puck, he figured it out.
There's not much.
A pretty good amateur at a minimum.
there's not much that Casey's not good at.
I'm jealous a lot times. So
you need to get out there and play pool with us sometime.
Yeah.
Do you shoot pool still at all?
I've shot some pool with Dad at their house and at Holden's house, my brother-in-law's, but I've just never been a big pool player.
Yeah.
I never was really good at it either. So.
Oh, that helps. And I have my days, but I'm no Terry Evans or Merle Collins.
No, I've watched some of those guys play on Facebook, on Rodney's Facebook, and they're very impressive.
Yeah, I've played. I think me and Cody York won the 9-ball doubles tournament maybe 3 years ago. Since then, I've not had much luck.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never beat Dad at was
pool.
Was pool, yeah.
I've not beat him many times. I know I've never beat Casey in a series. In our 7-game series, he's beat me every time I've had to play him. But back to what I was talking about. If you were talking to a young man or woman right now that like dreamed of becoming a state trooper, is there any advice you would give them?
Yeah, obviously, do the right thing out in the community now. Mm-hmm. Don't be doing any, don't be getting any charges on you or anything like that. And if that's really what you want to do, I would recommend getting on the Kentucky State Police website and applying get a ride along, fill out the paperwork for a ride along, go ride along with a trooper.
Can anybody do
Yes, they'll do a background check on you and everything. You can go up there to post and get the paperwork, and I believe, don't mark me to it, but I believe you can get it online as well.
So, like, if I wanted to do a ride along, I can do that?
Yes, and I believe you can go to ksp.org. I believe that's the website you go to look for
how does that work? Like, if I were to fill out the paperwork and get all that in line, like, do they just assign me to somebody random if I know somebody?
So you can ask to be with the trooper that you know.
Yeah.
So, and then what they'll do is if you don't put any trooper's name on there or anything like that, and that's not guaranteeing that you will get that trooper, but you might. But if you fill out the paperwork, they'll divvy down, they'll assign it to a trooper, and then you'll get their phone number. You give them a call, find a day that works for their schedule for them to ride with you, and you'll meet at a safe location, usually a police department or at post, and they'll ride along with you there for a shift, as long as they want to ride.
Yeah.
They don't have to ride the whole shift.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I know I've read about like ride-alongs and seen it in movies and stuff, but I never really, looked into like the logistics of it, or I don't guess I really knew it was a real thing. But do you guys have people do that often?
I've had a couple since I've been a trooper. I think I've had 2 since I've been a trooper, and both of them were. One of them's in law enforcement now.
Yeah.
And then he's not a trooper. He went into local first, but he's going to do kind of what I did.
Yeah.
And then there's another guy now. He just rode with me recently there before I had my knee surgery.
Yeah.
And he's looking to be a trooper as well, I believe.
I know you've probably seen like on TikTok and things like those people that take their cameras with them everywhere, and like they're always trying to like prove that they. Do you ever get people like that are trying to do ride-alongs?
No, I've luckily not had that, and that's fine. If if that's their motive of why they're wanting to do it. I try to conduct myself on those ride-alongs as I do when I'm by myself. The same things that I would do. Obviously, I always have a camera.
Yeah.
But no, I've never dealt with that on a ride-along.
Do you always have a body cam on?
Yeah, so I always have the body cam on my person here. We wear it down on our belt, and
so like,
anytime we have interaction with the public, we have to have that on.
So is that running like the whole time you're on shift, or does it act like?
No, so we activate it when we make contact with the public.
Okay.
So when I make a traffic stop, as soon as my light bar comes on, it's activated with my in-car camera. So it'll record my camera to the vehicle. Also, it will turn on my body cam instantly.
Yeah, I got you.
So,
and
then once that's the traffic stop, or once you're done talking to the public, you turn it back off. But it's always got the green light on. So,
and I'm sure I'm sure that's beneficial, like. Especially if you've got somebody like trying to make an accusation, like
100%. If I had to choose body cam or no body cam, I'm taking body cam all day long.
100%.
And it's actually good for everything, right?
Yeah.
It's also beneficial for me.
Yeah.
I can look back on things at a later date as I'm getting ready for trial or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to recall everything, every single detail.
Oh, and we now I know the middle and the high school at Monroe County, we have cameras in our classrooms now.
Yeah.
I can completely relate. And I know like a lot of people hear camera in the classroom, especially like maybe teachers, hear this and immediately they're like, oh no, I don't, it's invasion of my privacy or whatever. But like nobody's like, I know my administration's not sitting around watching that like in their free time. And if a kid were to make an accusation, I know that that's there and I'm always protected. So like I can completely relate to that. If you're doing your job and you're doing things the right way, you have nothing to worry about. The camera's going to help you.
Right.
I feel like
should be.
Yeah, the only people that have something to worry about are the people that have something, to hide. So if there were a young man or woman that dreamt of becoming a state police officer, like what would that process for them look like? Let's say they don't have like military background or anything like that.
So I don't know what changes they've made on that application process since I came in, but it used to be a certain number of college credits, a prerequisite of either military or law enforcement experience, or some job-related experience. Like
it used to be like
60
hours college credit.
I believe it's 60. But yeah, I think I had the college credit, I had the the prior military and law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement. So, but no, if you don't have those, it's not a big deal. I
Yeah.
believe it is now that you had to work a public job as well. That way you've had some interaction with the public.
Interaction
Don't
with the
hold me to it. I haven't looked at it in a long time,
Yeah.
a few years. So
So how many years are you in now, like state police?
I believe August will be the finish. We'll finish up this August will be my 3rd year completed.
And then total law enforcement years?
Let's see, 2021, January 1st.
Oh,
it's
wow.
hard to forget that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you're going to remember that.
Yeah.
What were you doing right before that? Was that when you were still headed into the education field?
Yeah, so I was going to the education field. I had already taken the Praxis 1. All I had left was the Praxis 2 and approximately, I don't know, maybe 15, 18 hours of school left. And I'll tell you how my mind changed. Actually, was I believe it was the middle school, and you may have been a part of it. Do you remember when T-ville PD came up and did the active shooter training?
Yeah.
It was at that day that it triggered me.
Yeah, you were the shooter in all the exercises, weren't you?
Yeah, I can't remember how we did. I just remember that day.
There's one part of the training where they plant like a firearm on someone that's in the classroom with you, and I think they planted.
I probably did.
I think they
It's
planted
been a
it on
while.
you.
Yeah. But anyway, it was at that time I was like, man, I really miss the tactical side of law enforcement. I just missed law enforcement in general. And I wish I would have made it on earlier, obviously, so I could get close to retirement sooner. I'd already have a couple more years under my belt, but everything happens for a reason. I also learned a lot with kids in the classroom. I tell you, it's a difficult job you guys have. Way more difficult than you have to do it to understand it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate that too. I'm sure like being in law enforcement around like your hometown community, I'm sure that's tough, right?
It's good and bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say bad. It's mostly good because I know most of the people I'm dealing with. I deal with a lot of the same people.
Yeah. But now that can make it tough
often.
too when you have to.
But we build rapport with each other as well. The people that I have dealt with multiple times, I know them. They know me. They know I'm a nice guy. They kind of know how we conduct business. And then, you get your local scrutiny and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
It's like this. I tell people all the time. They say, everybody wants to bring up quota. Like, oh, you got a quota. Well, I tell them like this, and I've told the people this multiple times on traffic stops. You've got a job to do. I ask them what their job is.
Yeah.
Well, does your boss expect you to have something to show for your day of work, for your work day? Well, yeah. Well, mine does too. So my job, unfortunately, does sometimes cost people money, but hopefully that it will, influence that person to make better decisions. And in the future, that might save a life.
Oh yeah.
And even if that's just wearing your seatbelt, who knows? And I've told people this before too. People can say what they want about seatbelts. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. But, I've told people, what if me stopping you today and you putting your seatbelt on, and you have a car wreck on the way home might save your life. And, and I hope that I hope they didn't have a car wreck on the way home. But if that did happen, I'd be super proud that I made that interaction that day. So you got to look at it from a positive note.
I mean, you're gonna have your like older, stubborn people that are gonna have their opinion no matter what. Yeah. I'm gonna say this about the seatbelt law: there are way more tedious laws that we follow and don't like complain about it. So like, what's the big deal?
Well, it's part of life. You can't satisfy everyone. So that's just how it is.
I laid something down somewhere. I'll go get it when we take a bathroom break. But I'm sure I could ask you law enforcement questions for hours and hours and hours. But I'm not gonna bore you to death with your job. If you're like me, when you get home or you get out of the workplace, you don't really want to spend all day talking about it. One thing I do know about you is your commitment and discipline to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu currently. So, like, walk us through that. Like, when did that start? How'd you get into that? And, like, where you at with it right now?
Well, I'll be honest. I've thought about this a lot, and I can honestly say that I didn't find Jiu-Jitsu, as oddly as this sounds. Jiu-Jitsu found me. I was actually sorting mail at the post office in Edmonton when I was working there, and there was a fellow that came up to me, and he may not want his name said, so I'm going to just leave it out. I don't think many people may not know him anyway. But he came up to me with a cup of coffee, and he said, "Have you ever trained jiu-jitsu?" And I said, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And I said, no. I'd watched MMA and stuff, but I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. And he said, well, man, you should check it out. It was pretty cool. And I was like, well. So I looked it up on my phone because I was kind of looking for a hobby. Like, I played a lot of golf.
Yeah.
But I never loved golf the way that I loved jiu-jitsu. And I was just wanting to try something new. And I looked it up on Google. I put closest jiu-jitsu gym. I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't even watch a video before I went to class. So I found Hicks MMA. So Hicks MMA is located in Bowling Green, Dishman Lane.
Yeah.
It's a very nice gym. It's ran by their black belt instructor, Donnie Wallace. Donnie, I consider Donnie a very good friend of mine. Love Donnie to death. So I remember I went to my first class. It was an evening class. I showed up. I had nothing. I didn't have any gear. I walked in, and I remember that was the most and I understand why a lot of people are hesitant to come to their first jiu-jitsu class, because I promise I felt it.
Yeah.
I was a big guy at the time. I was 242 pounds. I was bent. It's when you and I and Alan and some of them were doing the strength competition up here in Tompkinsville. At the time, my numbers, I think I was like 1590 total or something. I had a 390 bench, a 585 deadlift, and a 525 squat. And I was like, man, I was like, there's no way that whatever this is, I'm going to do well at it.
Yeah.
So I walked in, and Donnie met me at the door. Hey, man, you trying to start jiu-jitsu? And I was like, yeah, man, I've never trained before. And he's like, well, that's fine. And he showed me the rates and everything. I was like, well, that's kind of expensive. I didn't understand any of it. And he gives me a gi, and I'm like, how do I put this thing on? How do I wear this? So I go in the bathroom, or the changing room in there, and I put my stuff on. And there's another guy beside him, and I'm kind of trying to put everything on the way he is, because I don't want to look silly. And I did not know how to put my belt on, so it probably looked terrible. And I come back out to the mats, and we lined up, and they've got these guys in order, and I'm like, where do I fit here? I'm just going to go to the end. So I go to the end, and we start doing these fundamental drills, movements before class, like forward rolls, backward rolls. And I'm telling you, I'd love to watch. I wish somebody had video footage of me that day. Because I was like, I'm going to dislocate my shoulder if I do another forward roll. But anyway, I went through that class, and I remember that was the first time in my life, and this is when I fell in love with jiu-jitsu immediately, that I went in and got my ego just plumb destroyed. I mean, absolutely destroyed, taken away from me. I remember rolling with about 175 pound. I don't remember what belt he was. It was my first roll, and he manhandled me at my 242 pound weight. And that's when I said, I love this. Like, I want to learn what he knows. So that I can use what I have, my body weight for, I'll be really good if I can learn this. And that's kind of similar to the John Danaher when he met the guy at I think he was doing security as a bouncer or something. He pulls the guy in the office, and he starts showing him these moves, and he's just mesmerized. And that's the feeling that I had. But after that, I was making that. I think it was an hour and some change drive that I was making this drive to Bowling Green, and it was a pretty expensive price. And I remember Donnie one day, he asked me, he's like, "Hey, there's a guy named Patches Childers in Glasgow, and it trains out of his garage." I said, "No, I had no idea. I haven't seen him online or nothing." He's like, "Well, it may not be on there or whatever." So I can't remember if I got a number, but I just went out there, and I met my coach, Patches Childers. I consider him my coach this day. Just a fantastic human being, one of my best friends, not just a coach. And he was very welcoming. All the guys that I met there are still some of my best friends today. Kyle Moffitt. I don't want to start naming them because I got a ton of them. But that's kind of how I found jiu-jitsu. It's kind of an odd story of how I found it. But now I started my son in it, and once I started my son in it, that's when I got like super invested in
Yeah.
to the point where I was training multiple times per day. And now I've recently started coaching under my coach when he's unable to be there.
Okay.
So
Now, when you started, how old was Jet when he started?
So Jet he's 6 now. He started at 4 years old, and it was in August, I believe, when he was 4. So it's coming up on 2 years for Jet now.
Did he resist it or anything at all, or did he take like right to it?
It's been a bumpy road.
Yeah.
But I'll say one thing about Jet: he's never quit.
Yeah.
I remember the first month, and I do this with everything as a father, and I'm sure you probably would do the same thing. When we start something, we finish up to what we've paid for or what we've signed up for. So if you start a season or whatever in football, you're going to finish, or basketball, baseball. Well, that's how we did jiu-jitsu. I paid a month payment for him the first month. I said, you're going to do this whole month. Even if you hate it, we're just going to try it. And I remember having to beg him to go.
Yeah.
And he would cry.
Yeah.
And then finally, after that 1 month, I asked him, and I didn't expect this. I said, do you want to sign up for another month?
Yeah.
Yes, Dad, I do.
Yeah.
I think he made really good friends with Max, which is Patch's son.
Yeah.
They're the same age, really good friends. And then he started asking me about jiu-jitsu. Like, hey, when are we going to jiu-jitsu again? And he fell in love with it too. And to this day, I mean, he's rarely missed a day of jiu-jitsu.
Even if I never get back into it, which like I'm not closing the door. I really want to get into some form of like something like that. But even if I don't get back into it myself, I have intentions of both my sons at least like doing it for a little bit.
Right.
I want to send them to school or send them out confident that they can handle themselves if they need to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And man, I don't know. I feel like it's good for anybody, not just kids. It's good for anybody at some point to do something that you don't necessarily want to do.
I think it's for the listeners that have never even, that may have been like myself and didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. I think it's important to kind of tell the listeners what jiu-jitsu really is.
Yeah.
So this is the way that I pitch jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, to me, is the most dominant mixed martial art for one reason. And obviously there's many reasons, but this one most importantly. And John Danaher says this beautifully. And it's actually on the Rogan podcast. I've watched this many a times. But so I'll ask you, and for this reason, that where is a human being most explosive from?
Explosive?
Where can you apply the most kinetic force? What position in a strike?
Oh, I mean, it's gonna be like from your core, your hips.
What stance will you be? Where will you be on your feet? Like where, or knees?
Oh, like if
you're wanting to apply the most force, where would you be positioned? Where would you be?
On my, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably overthinking this.
on your feet, right?
Yeah.
On your feet.
Yeah.
So as a human, our power from strikes come from our hips, right? Because you've done MMA, you've done a lot more striking than I have. So with that being said, where is a human being? If you were on your knees, are you going to be as explosive and powerful with a punch as you would have been on your feet?
No, you're not.
Right. Now, how explosive can you be on your back?
Well, the punch, just not very.
You're not going to do much damage to somebody on top of you on your back. Well, that's the idea of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We're pinning someone in the most vulnerable position that you can be in, which is on your back.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the most vulnerable would be them having your back and strangling you from a rear naked choke. But so with that being said, there's a systematic. John also talks about this well. There's a 4-system format to jiu-jitsu. We obviously, and you can skip steps on this. There's people that pull guard. There's leg lockers and stuff like that. But let's look at the idea of jiu-jitsu. So we start in a competition, jiu-jitsu, or in a fight. Where do we start? Standing.
Yep.
So the first thing we have to do is take our opponent to the ground. And once you take your opponent to the ground, what is between you and your opponent of their body?
Once you get to the ground, nothing.
Their legs, right?
Yeah.
So this is what you're considered a guard. So
Yeah.
we have to pass their guard.
Mhm.
So the second step of the system is we have to pass their legs, which is their guard. It's protecting their gray matter, which is their head, from getting demolished, right? Once we pass that, we have to do the third step of jiu-jitsu, which is finding the pin that we're going to use, the pinning mechanism, whether that be knee on belly, side control, mount, north-south, or taking their back. That's our pinning position. That's step 3. And the fourth and final is whatever aspect that what are we in, right?
Yeah.
Are we working to get a submission, or striking, or whatnot, right? So that's the 4 steps. We have to take our opponent to the ground. We have to pass their guard. We have to pin their opponent, and then we have to submit our opponent, or whatever the guidelines are to whatever we're doing, right? So with all that being said, let's take it out of sport jiu-jitsu context or MMA. Let's talk about on the street. Let's talk about somebody comes up to you and they just strike you, or they come up to you, start a confrontation, and you don't want that confrontation.
Yeah.
So you begin to back up. Hey, you know, I don't want to fight, because we don't train to get into altercations. We train because if we need it, we have it. But with jiu-jitsu, is a beautiful art, because let's say you get in an altercation with them and you're a striker, and you beat the brakes off of them. You punch them in the face, and they fall and hit their head on the asphalt, and they have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Not only do you have civil liability, you have criminal liability, all the above.
Yeah.
But in jiu-jitsu, I can take an individual that's trying to strike me to the ground without ever striking them, gift wrap them in a position that they can't move until law enforcement gets them.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful
100%.
art to know. So that's why I would tell the general public, at least at a minimum, if you don't want to train, and I insist everybody at least train a year, get to the blue belt level minimum of jiu-jitsu, just so that you have it, but get your kids in it.
Yeah.
Just so they can defend themselves.
To defend themselves. I mean, man, and I'm going to butcher this too. There's a doctor that went on Rogan's podcast and talked about this like portion of your brain that only develops like when you make yourself do difficult things. Like there's a portion of your brain, I can't remember what it's called, but like in order to get it to develop, you have to do things that you don't want to do. Like just maybe that's like jiu-jitsu, maybe that's a sauna, maybe it's a cold plunge in the morning,
Right.
Something that you're dreading when you wake up in the morning, but you do it anyway.
Well, I actually call that,
Yeah.
and I find that myself there often,
Yeah.
especially when I'm training for, fights and stuff. I call it, and I got this from a saying that I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but killing your weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a weakness,
Yeah.
and it's mentally. And
Rogan.
you have to find that weakness and defeat it
Yeah.
that day. And for me, when I defeat my weakness that day, whatever that is, like
Yeah.
I've conquered that day.
Rogan calls it his inner B word. I don't know.
yeah. So-
He's like,
Same ideology.
He's like, I got this dude, I got my inner, on this shoulder, and then I got the monster over here. Like, who am I going to let control me today?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But no, like I don't know at what point, but I do want both of my sons to go through jiu-jitsu, at least for like a period of time. Number one, to see if they like it, but I do want to be confident that they could protect themselves, like in a situation if they needed to.
Absolutely.
So, like, are there a lot of kids in the class
Right
that
now,
are around Jet's age?
and I failed to even tell everyone what our gym's name is.
Yeah,
where it's
plug the gym. Real
So
quick.
13 Jiu-Jitsu, that's obviously I started at Hicks for a week or two. I wasn't there very long, but I've been at 13 Jiu-Jitsu ever since, and it's located next to the jail on Sampson Street in Glasgow.
Okay.
It's a small building connected to the boxing gym. We've currently gotten, I want to say over 20 kids enrolled.
Oh, wow.
So we've got a big kids program. It's an excellent program right now. And then adults, we vary. It's kind of seasonal because everybody's schedule's, complicated sometimes, and we can't get there, all the time. So sometimes people come in the winter, some people more in the summer. But we usually keep between, I want to say around 20 adults as well that are signed up at a time. I think if you guys are even slightly remotely interested, come check it out. The first class is free. If if you just want to do mat fees for a while and fill it out, I believe it's $20 mat fees. And if you want to sign up for the month, I don't want to get that wrong. You might check on that when you get there. I believe it's around $115 for the month.
And I want to stay on jiu-jitsu for a little bit and talk to you about that. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break.
That's
fine. Cool with you.
And I am going to check the audio, make sure we're good.
Oh. And we're back, everyone. I'm not sure what the last question I asked was. Did you finish, like, plug in 13 jiu-jitsu for everybody?
We're talking about 13. I know there's a lot of people that are, like I said, they're hesitant to get into it. But fight that, the nerves of that first class. Just it's and people don't understand either, the jiu-jitsu community itself, if you've ever visited jiu-jitsu gyms, super chill. Like, nobody's in there trying to kill you. Like,
you may want to move the mic a little closer. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Nobody in the gym there is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
It's literally a family, and we all are just trying to get each other better at simply jiu-jitsu.
I remember, do you remember Bartley's video when we were kids?
Yeah,
Bartley's next to, I think it's it's a vape store now or something. Next to the storage units.
Yeah, Lucky 7 or something.
So it used to be Bartley's Video and Tanning. You go in there and rent movies.
Yeah.
I remember, when I was little, that was the only place I ever saw, UFC videos. It had the ultimate, the dude with the hands out, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. My dad would, I would see those videos. I was a big, wrestling fan when I was a kid. I loved WCW, WWE, and I would always, want to rent those videos. And my dad he talked about it like it was, barbaric. He's like, oh, that's where they break each other's arms and all this. And I think the general public, views MMA and jiu-jitsu and things like that, kind of, maybe not so much now, but a lot of, your older people.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Will view it as, barbaric, and it's not like that at all. Man.
Like
Anybody that I've, 95% of the people that I've met through martial arts in my life are, the coolest, most laid-back, easy-going people you'll ever meet. Some of the killers don't look like killers at all if you run into them on the street.
Absolutely. Just nice people that, and it's also a nice social experience. We use that time, we're all like brothers and sisters. We got females in there too. And it's just a big family. We're just trying to get each other better.
I didn't spend a lot of time, how do I word this? Of course, I competed in MMA in 2017 through 2018. I didn't spend a lot of time in a training in a pure jiu-jitsu standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I went to, there was a gym in Bowling Green I used to go to called Kentucky Grappling or Kentucky Grapplers. Are you familiar with that?
Not unless it's some of the same folks that are now Fuel Fortress.
So Kentucky Grappling was located close to the Med Center, Bowling Green Med Center.
Do you remember who the instructor was there?
Shannon Montgomery was the black belt that I was around the most. I'm not sure if she owned the gym or if she was just maybe the head instructor.
I'm sure Patches knows them,
yeah,
but they're not. The ones that I know of now in Bowling Green are Fuel Fortress, Ashkan Karbasi, and Jonathan Clark are there.
Yeah, I remember Jonathan Clark.
Yeah, Jonathan Clark's a really good friend of mine. I love
he
Jonathan
used to train at Kentucky Grappler sometimes.
And then you got Hicks MMA, and that's Donnie Wallace's gym there. So
I think Shannon was, and I may be misquoted on this, I think she was the first female black belt in Kentucky. Like I said, if I'm wrong, somebody out there listening, feel free to correct me on that. I think she was, though.
And you may be right. I don't know many female black belts that I've met, honestly.
And I know she wouldn't roll with new people in class or white belts very frequently. When I would go.
People just don't understand.
Yeah.
How lucky we are to have these gyms that we have now.
You can get injured rolling with a white belt a lot faster than
100%.
rolling with a black belt.
The most dangerous person on that mat is the newest white belt.
Yeah.
100 spazzy white belt syndrome. It'll get you injured.
It's granted, I've never worn a gi. And when I rolled, I was always no gi.
Right.
Of course, I was preparing for MMA competitions. How different is it in the gi versus no gi?
So gi and no gi, the only differences really is obviously the material and the grips, right? So the grips are what you have to learn. It's a lot easier in my point of view to go from gi to no gi than to go from just gi or just no gi to gi.
Yeah.
Because it's still the same foundation, right? The same system we just discussed, except you're throwing grips and lapels, strangles, and things of that nature in, which makes it a lot more complex, and you got a lot more defenses that you have to worry about from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
Obviously, also, it increases your tool belt of submissions because there's lots of submissions that you can't do in a gi or no gi that you can do in a gi. So yeah, it's much different. When I first started, and I think it's because I trained a lot more in no gi when I first started. I wouldn't say I trained a lot more, but I trained more, obviously, because we do Monday, Tuesday gi, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday no gi, and my work schedule put me more to where I was able to be there for the no gi, and only one or two classes in gi. But as I've went on gi now, I believe I enjoy gi more than I did no gi, or at least on an even platform.
Yeah.
But there's it's interesting. There's lots more options in gi for sure.
So do you enjoy rolling in a gi more, you think, or maybe neutral?
I'm going to say I enjoy them both equally, and they both have they're both a beautiful art. But definitely I've learned some new lasso guard in a gi, and I've actually started kind of transferring it into no gi with just a wrist grip. But yeah, there's just so many options in a gi. So I do love a gi. I have a lot of passion for it. And I'm doing Worlds in a gi, September, Vegas.
That's what Mikkel was telling me.
September 3rd through the 5th. Patches and I and Chris Schmidt, purple belt at 13, are all going to be competing.
So is that something like you had to go through like a qualifying process for, or?
No. So Worlds, you just have to sign up and go. There's a lot of competitors. With that being said, it's not a qualifying event. There's a lot of competitors in this competition, so the bracket's rather hefty, and it's single elimination.
Is there a way for like people out there to watch?
Yes, so you can get on if you have a subscription to Flow Grappling, you can actually watch pretty much every single match on Flow Grappling.
Really?
And you can just go to the search bar, type in
Trent,
Tooley.
Man, keep me posted on that. I want to watch it.
Yeah, cool, for sure. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. So as soon as I get this knee back in commission, I had a full medial meniscus tear and I had a partial lateral tear, which they found after they had already cut into my knee. I'm at 7 weeks of recovery. This is my 7th week of recovery, and yeah, I'm excited to start my camp.
When is Worlds again?
September 3rd through the 5th.
Yeah, make sure you keep me posted, and I'll keep that I'll get that advertised for you on the Basement Podcast if you're good with me doing that.
Absolutely.
Get all our viewers to support you on that. Watch you.
Absolutely.
I had something in mind I wanted to ask, and I can't remember what I was going to ask.
So from the competition standpoint, like locally, you got a few different like tournament settings. Like you got Fuji, you got IBJJF. IBJJF is considered like the king of like gi oriented. Obviously ADCC's made a big jump. They've been kind of the Olympic, that's like the Super Bowl of no gi grappling, right?
Yeah.
But IBJJF's considered, one of the biggest accomplishments to win like a world championship in. So
have you ever considered competing like at the Arnold?
No, I didn't even know they had a grappling platform at the Arnold.
Oh man, have you been to the Arnold before?
See, I've never been to the Arnold.
Dude, it's crazy.
And they haven't really advertised it because I haven't seen the grappling.
It's always the first weekend in March.
Okay.
They got MMA, jiu-jitsu, like Greco-Roman wrestling. It's anything like fitness related at all. They've got it. I think at one time it was the largest sporting event like in the world held annually.
Yeah.
But I went, of course, like anybody been keeping up with the podcast knows I'm not in the shape I was in a few years ago. But I went to the Arnold every year from like 2017 till COVID. COVID was the first year I didn't go. But no, I would recommend looking into that.
Oh,
I don't know like what the ranking system's like or how like how it's structured, but I know they do have jiu-jitsu competitions
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, so far I've competed in mostly Fuji and IBJJF.
Mhm.
So, and the Worlds will be IBJJF.
Have you ever met a guy named Jason Herring?
Jason Herring, yes, I believe I have. Where's he out of?
Franklin Simpson. I'm not.
Are they considered Wildcat Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Jason's good buddy of mine.
I think
good buddy of
I
mine.
think I have met him at Bowling Green. Really good guy.
Yeah, I met him through Hard Rock MMA. I went to one of the Bowling Green cards in November of 2019, 2020 maybe. No. Is it 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, and he had like one of the craziest head kick knockouts I've ever seen. So I'm watching that, and I noticed like he's in my weight class.
Oh yeah.
So I'm watching it. I'm like, man, I need to go introduce
Right.
myself to this guy. I don't want to fight him.
Right. When you were in the when you were doing your MMA fights and stuff, were there a lot of really good jiu-jitsu guys in those your weight classes or anything?
There's
that you fought?
jiu-jitsu. Anyone good like your higher tier jiu-jitsu and like wrestling practitioners
Right.
were the ones usually dominating the weight classes. Like you
That's
didn't,
what you see in MMA now too.
because like
your
man,
sambo and
especially like amateur MMA.
yeah.
If you go watch an amateur MMA card, you're going to see like one of two things. You're going to see two guys get out there, one of two things is poorly worded. You're highly likely to see one of two things. Right. Two guys going in there and slugging it out, or somebody getting ragdolled.
Yeah.
And I know like the spectator standpoint of things, like a lot of people, they want to watch. Most people want to watch like a kickboxing match. I love watching like crazy grappling chains. Like when you see like high level like grappling chains.
I love watching these sambo guys now.
Transitions and sweeps. Like
it's
there's just something about watching two guys flowing in there. Like,
did you watch the Kamzat Duplessis fight?
Yeah.
Oh man, ragdolled him.
Oh yeah,
for just sure. Silly. I mean,
that dude's a different human.
Absolutely. Gas tanks, like those sambo guys, they're gas tank. And I look back at Khabib and, all these guys, Islam, there's a lot of good. The wrestling just takes over.
They're doing something over there in Dagestan that's different. It's just the guys, anytime you see Dagestani in the cauliflower ears, like, that dude's built different.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I like. We get back to what I talked about earlier. Just look at that standpoint.
Yeah.
If you get really good at wrestling and really good at jiu-jitsu, you can dominate a human being without even having to strike them. Because really, Kamzat with Duplessis, he hardly struck him. I mean, he was just tapping him.
Yeah.
Just playing with him.
Yeah.
I think he wanted it to go 5 rounds.
Who
he
was
wanted the whole fight to.
Do you keep up with him pretty well?
Kamzat? Yeah. I've watched a few of his fights.
Did you see there was a fight a couple years ago where he literally carried the guy across the cage to Dana? Have you ever seen that clip?
When he had him up on his shoulders?
Yeah.
I believe I do remember that.
He carried him to Dana, like who's sitting in the front row and is like talking to Dana while he's carrying him to the cage. And then he slams him and he's like, "This was your number one contender? This was your number one contender?"
Yeah, that's how it is.
And for anybody listening, I just want to make it clear, like you are way more knowledgeable when it comes to jiu-jitsu and grappling, for that matter, than I am. Like I'm not trying. I don't want anyone listening to think like I'm trying to put myself on that level. If I were to have like trained jiu-jitsu in a ranking, like I would still be a white belt. Like, I'm not.
Well, I think what's really cool about jiu-jitsu is it's such a small community that there's people that you might ask my name to in another part of Kentucky. Yeah, I know Trent. Or, it's crazy how small of a community that it really is. All you got to do is just go drop in a few gyms. I do a lot of cross training.
Yeah.
This is what makes my coach so good. And I think a lot of jiu-jitsu coaches out there are very prideful of their gym to the point that they're always right, and nobody else is right. You're going to do it their way or the highway.
Yeah.
My coach is far from that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I remember when I made that jump to where I was like, I'm starting to get better at this, you know.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with Patches. We walked outside the gym one day, and I don't think he'd mind me saying this either. We walked outside, and he said, I said, you know, what do I need to do? Like, how can I get better? Here's my advice to you. Start cross-training.
Yeah.
Really? You want me to go to another gym and cross-train? Yeah. Bring stuff back to us.
Yeah.
You know, go out there and learn. There's so many things to learn. So that's what I started doing. I went to Sean Hammond's down in Nashville. Excellent gym. They welcomed me in with open arms. Excellent people. I've been to Core Combat Sports is my main like cross-training gym. Nathan Haddad. If you've ever heard of him.
Where's that at?
He just won, I believe, the ADCC West Coast Trials and Nationals. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. I've been to Chewy's. Chewy's a great instructor.
Yeah.
He actually taught that day when I was there. And I've been to Bardstown, to Iron Monkey Grappling. Paul, great guy. You know, Hicks, doing some cross-training at Hicks. Fuel Fortress. Been there for some seminars and stuff.
Yeah.
And I try to bring it back. And and where I teach under Patches now, you know, I'll teach these new techniques as long as Patches
is cool with it.
Hey, this is good stuff. And that's what makes my coach. And I think that's what makes any coach in any sport or anything. Yeah. You know, that's what makes them a quality coach.
Especially, too, like if you're at a smaller gym with like, say, 10 to 20 people, you're going to eventually like learn like little nuances from the same. So like, I mean, you're not gonna hurt yourself by exposing yourself to different people. No.
And when I go roll with, you know, those guys, especially Core Combat, I tell you, any grappler that's watching this, if you haven't been there to roll, there's people that come from other gyms. I usually go on Friday evenings, and there's nothing like a Friday night roll at Core Combat. I haven't been there on Saturdays or any other day.
Where's Core Combat?
It's that Louisville gym. Okay. I don't know the address off the top of my head. Just look it up. They got a super nice facility. Nathan, Max, all super good guys. Go check that gym out. Get you some rolls in. What I was going to say is, when I roll with those guys, it exposes some holes in my game, right? Yeah. That I don't get when I roll with the same people at my gym all the time, because they know my moves. I know their moves. Unless we're adding new things to our toolbox, you've got to go out and see what's out there. Yeah. Find the holes in your game. And that's the best way to do it, especially when you're at a competition mode of jiu-jitsu and you're not just a hobbyist, just doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's different aspects of jiu-jitsu. You can be a hobbyist. You can do it for the social aspect. We got a lot of people like that at our gym. Yeah. We also have a few that are into the competition side of it. And that's what's beautiful about it and then you can intertwine all three. You can be a competitor while still enjoying the hobbies aspect and, you know, make it a quality part of your life.
So I do have some audience submitted questions related to jiu-jitsu. Let me see if I can track some of them down. I've got one, I don't know. Mikhail may not want me to say his name, but I just did, I guess. What was your... Describe your grappling style and what's your favorite submission?
So, Patches has obviously instilled he's a big bottom guard. He's a sneaky grappler. He plays a lot of bottom closed guard, and he will catch you in a triangle. It'll be the worst triangle you ever felt in your life. So I definitely have a lot of that has been invested into my game. But I have to say my style is top pressure. I like top pressure passing. I like to get to the back if I can. That's my optimal position to get to. But I like to try to get the takedown if I can, and I like to, you know, work guard passing and play top position. Yeah. That's kind of my style, pressure. I like a lot of pressure game.
And what's your favorite submission?
Oh, man. This has changed a lot. When I first started jiu-jitsu, it's changed. I'd say probably 4 times. My favorite position, my favorite submission now, and they would probably tell you this at my gym, is the Darce. The Darce is my favorite submission, but I always fall back to the rear naked choke. I think the rear naked choke is the most dominant submission in jiu-jitsu. It's not the most dangerous. I also really enjoy heel hooks. Heel hook is the most dangerous and lethal submission that you can put on a human being as far as a joint submission. It can reconstruct someone's kneecap in a matter of seconds. But yeah, I'd say probably my favorite, and I think everybody at my gym would agree, would be the Darce. I love a good Darce.
How would you describe like rolling with Mikhail? I just want to know. I've never rolled with. I've never trained with Mikhail.
Well, you play football with Mikhail.
Yeah.
Big strong fella.
Yeah.
No, Mikhail's always a good roll. Mikhail likes to. Let's see. I'm trying to think what Mikhail's kind of play is. He's kind of like me. He likes the pressure game.
Maybe move the mic a little closer. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I kind of watch like the meter. And you've got like a green, yellow, and red. And
okay.
I try to make sure it's
well, if I get away from it,
I'm just making sure it's bouncing in that yellow, so it's picking you up.
But no, Mikhail plays a lot of the same styles that he likes a lot of the same styles that I do.
I've been telling Mikhail I was going to get to the gym for like probably 2 years, and I've never came.
It's all right. When I had to take a little break from state police, I remember I stopped Eric Varney. I don't know if you know Varney. Shout out to old Varney, but he's a wrist lock king at our gym.
Really?
Great big fella. But I stopped him on a traffic stop one day, and I told him, I was like, I'm going to get back in there. And I took a little bit longer of a break than I wanted to, and this is before I came back and got jet started, and started really getting consistent. But no, I know how it is, man, and life happens. That's what Patches always says.
Yeah.
Life happens, and he's right.
What about Cardone? You roll with him much?
So Cardone spent a lot of time in the basement training with me. Did a lot of good, I guess you'd call them privates with him when he was starting out, and he was getting really good. And then the baby's coming along, so he had to take a little break now.
Yeah.
But I told him, I just spoke to him the other day, and we're going to get back at some privates in the basement. Hopefully, he can get back over and train at the gym. 13.
Talk about a guy that went through a transformation. He went through a major transformation.
He has.
He's
very dedicated too.
Disciplined.
Very disciplined.
Yeah. Let's see. I got another. This is a fun one. How lethal of a grappler would your cousin by marriage be had he never retired from jiu-jitsu?
Oh, it'd be stupid. Yeah, I picked at him for a little while, and I usually do that. I see somebody out that hadn't been there in a while. Like, when you coming back, But no, Jack's had a lot of potential. He started strong there, and I think it was with Show is who brought him. Show goes to our gym. About the same age. They played basketball together, and they had a few guys there from Metcalf that was kind of coming in a group. Zach, I went blank on his last name, but his first name's Zach, and then there was, I think, another boy maybe that they were bringing in. But, Jax, if you're listening to this, you need to get your hind end back to class. So.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a guy that trained there that was security detail for Governor Bashir?
One of my best friends, Kyle Moffitt.
Yeah. Is he still training there?
So Kyle had a baby after he got his black belt.
Okay.
His wife had their child, a second child, and he comes and trains periodically, and he does a lot of visiting other gyms too. Kind of life happens kind of thing. But no, he's still training today. Yeah.
Now, for our listeners out there that are hearing us like throw these like terms around like black belt, blue belt, whatever, just so they can get a little bit of like understanding of the dedication. Let's say I've never trained jiu-jitsu before. I walk into your gym, I train 3 days a week. I'm very disciplined. How long would it take me to get a black belt? Let's bump it. Let's say I train 5 days a week I'm just disciplined as can be.
5 days a week?
Yeah.
Well, let's start with what most people do. Usually 2. 2 days a week. It's usually what most people try to thrive to do. I'll say this. It's a learning curve in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. It really depends on how well you're picking up and applying the techniques efficiently. And only Patches and coaches can really see how are you progressing, right? It's not how are you doing against others. It's what did you look like your first day to now.
Yeah.
Right? Years down the road. But realistically, if you look that up on Google, because obviously most people that's trained has looked that question up, you're looking anywhere between for a 2-day a week, and you stayed with it for years and years and years. You applied yourself. Probably a 6 to 10 year mark, maybe 12, maybe 14.
Yeah.
It really depends on your learning curve. Now, if you're more consistent, I've seen guys get a black belt. I think the fastest, this is controversial, Moneyberg. I don't know if you've seen that guy.
Yeah.
They say he kind of bought his belt. I don't know. Never roll with the guy. He might, he might get me. I don't know. But I think his was like 3 years or 3.5. But I know there's been some at 4 years, 4 or 5 years. So it's really just your consistency.
Yeah.
How often are you going, and how are you applying that in your game? Is your coach seeing that? And what do you look like from day one you to now, right? How much have you progressed? But there's really no significant, like, there's no absolute timeline to it. It's just how quickly you pick it up.
I just wanted to give them like a generalized, like, you're not going to jump in there and get a black belt in a year or something crazy like that.
No, it's actually, I don't want to say it's wrong. I haven't trained all the other mixed martial arts, but I believe it's the longest mixed martial art from white to black belt. But I will say this, and this is one thing that helped me, is I have a really, and the guys at my gym can tell you, like, I have a really photographic memory when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Nothing else in my life
really
do I have a memory of that I can recollect like I can a jiu-jitsu move. So I can watch a video.
Your wife's probably going to call it selective memory.
She will call it selective hearing, actually. Yeah, for sure. But
mine too.
But I can watch a John Danaher instructional in a series, break it down, and I can come to class and I can start teaching that technique pretty quickly, just because and start using it in my roles effectively, because I have that kind of photographic memory. I can remember technique.
Yeah.
Some people struggle with that. Some people need it, they need to do it over and over and over, and I still need to do that as well. But I will say that did kind of come to me. That's something that I have an ability to do that I'm very grateful for.
I always struggled, like, to watch a technique. I'm one that I needed to be placed in the position, and, like, really I needed you to, like, walk me through doing it myself, and I needed to do, like, repeat.
That's how most people are. And that's how I am too in certain things. But if it was already kind of in my wheelhouse of position, I can pick it up pretty quickly. But there's definitely a method to the madness. Everybody has their own method, and it's like that in anything, right?
I'll admit, like, I don't know the intricate parts of, like, belt ranking. So, like, if I come in, obviously I'm gonna be a white belt. So what is the next promotion? Like, I know you don't go straight from white to blue. There's like a stripe system.
So there's stripes. When I went to blue belt, I had one stripe. So that stripes, some gyms may make you like zebra out. So they call it four stripes. But I just remember Patches and I had that conversation, like, hey man, you're ready for your blue belt. If you want it, you want to keep competing as a white belt, you want to be a blue belt. He did the same thing about my purple belt. We've had conversations and stuff like that. So it's really amongst you and your coach and when you're ready. But it goes white, blue, purple, brown, and black.
And do they have like a belt ranking system for no-gi practitioners? Like if you only train no-gi?
Some coaches are different on that. I know gyms where they don't even train in a gi except for belt promotion. Nothing wrong with that. To each gym their own. So and like I said, it's gym to gym, it's coach to coach, kind of. There's differences at every gym.
So there are some gyms where you can't, like at 13, if you trained like no gi, would you develop a rank?
Patches likes to see you get some gi time in. But no, not necessarily. There's not like a certain time frame in a gi that you have to have, but he does want you to train the gi. And I think if I had my own gym, I would want, some gi time and no gi time. That's jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu in its tradition would be in a gi, right?
So for someone listening out there, like what kind of What price range are you looking at? Like, how much are you going to invest in a gi if you were to want to get started?
You can get a gi cheap. Elite, I believe, is one of the cheaper brands you can get on Amazon. I believe you can get a gi up for $50.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cheap, in my opinion. Compare, and then you can get a super nice gi.
Yeah.
I've got an Origin gi that I think I spent like a couple $100 on.
I think at one time I was looking into like Sanibel.
Sanibel's also Amazon. They're on Amazon as well. But you can get and especially kids. I think you can get kids for like $40.
Yeah. Now, do they have gis for someone that's interested but doesn't necessarily like?
Yep. So if you want to come to your first class, you don't own a gi. We train gis on Monday and Tuesday, and then we train no gi Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And if you don't have a gi and you just want to try it out, Patches is really good. Let you wear the gi for the day. He'll take it home and wash it. You just leave it there. If you come on no gi days, no zippers on the shorts, it can cut the mats. Also, your
is there like a rental fee for the gi? Like if you borrow one?
No,
okay,
no rental fee. And
man, talking about it, it's like getting that itch back. I'm want to scratch
absolutely. And like I said, very welcoming gym at 13. We'll welcome you in with open arms. So be glad to have you. And also, if anybody that doesn't want to, make that jump to a gym yet, and you're interested in privates, I've got some mats. Be glad to work with you on a private.
Have you ever considered MMA competition at all?
No, because of my job.
Yeah.
I want to say, and I haven't found
this
in policy. I haven't found it in policy. But there may be a policy against MMA, but I just know that I don't know of any troopers that fight MMA.
Would they treat boxing the same as MMA?
Probably, I would imagine. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I would have to do some more reading on policy on it. But I'm also getting up there in the age a little bit to where
you'd be tough in a cage. I can tell you right now, especially amateur.
It would be, for my body. Where
are you walking around at right now?
I walk around at I stay at my competition weight. I try to, and my competition weight is usually between 218, 225. So I sit around at 218, 220. Try to stay there. Eat the same thing every day for the most part.
I bet you could do an amateur MMA fight like around here and not even cut and be fine.
I've always wanted to.
Do you have any like stand up training? Like,
well, just mostly from policing.
Yeah.
But I dabbled in boxing when I was in the Army. I got with a guy up there and dabbled in boxing a little bit before I ever found jiu-jitsu.
See, stand-up was my favorite.
But I enjoy striking, and I enjoy, kicking as well.
See, so my first fight, my coach was more experienced, like Taekwondo practitioner.
Right.
So, like, the jiu-jitsu that we would incorporate into my training, I don't know many submissions, like the submissions I'm familiar with are going to be like your basic, like most people that watch like UFC on TV could tell you what these are.
Armbar, triangle, omoplata.
Yeah.
I got you.
So like when I trained, most of my jiu-jitsu that we incorporated was like, I'm trying to stand back up.
Right.
I want to get back to my feet.
Right.
Or like striking. I want to get in a dominant position.
And I'd be the opposite.
Yeah.
I want to keep them down. So
I remember I know most of the time the submission is, and correct me if I'm wrong, most of the time this is one you would go for in a gi, but I remember learning in Ezekiel.
Yep. And especially from mount.
I remember, of course I wasn't wearing a gi and I can't, it's been so long. I know it was like almost like a forearm choke. I was taught I was in mount and I would bait you into sweeping me. Mm-hmm. So when you were on top, I could stretch you out and choke you with my forearm. Like I said, that's been 7 or 8 years.
Ezekiel's a very good strangle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially from mount, that's a good option. You can also Ezekiel people from bottom. While they're swept you can still finish them from bottom, especially in a gi.
Yeah. So. Oh, man. Yeah, like I said, it's anybody out there that's young and not young enough or healthy enough or whatever. If you're thinking about it, try it. That would be my
or even those that are up in age, don't let it scare you. You don't, and I tell people this all the time, and I don't think Patches would have any issues with me saying this either, but, I tell people that are skittish about getting injured,
Yeah.
If I could go back to day one me in jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't have rolled for the first month. I wouldn't have rolled for the first month. I would have drilled the technique of the day, and I would have watched rolls until I felt like I knew what I was doing, because I remember the first roll I ever had, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Everybody.
I don't even know what the goal was.
I'd say everybody remembers their first roll. I remember mine.
I remember Cardone's first roll.
Well, who was it with? Was it with
He
you?
rolled with me. I think he rolled with me the first roll. If not, it was the second.
Yeah.
But this is how good Cardone got, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. But it was that day where Patches always says the first day, show them that jiu-jitsu works, but don't be too hard on them. So I think I submitted Cardone, I don't know, over 5 times maybe in 6 minutes. But here's the thing, Cardone a year from then, oh man, you know, it went from 5 times to 1 to 2 times.
He came to the house and rolled with me. We rolled it here in the basement 3 or 4 times while he was training with you guys. And I was impressed with how controlled he was. Like, I never felt like, rolling with somebody new, especially with him being a lot stronger than me. I was kind of like hesitant to roll with him. So I didn't want to tweak my neck again, or, He was really controlled from my experience with him.
Yeah, I remember day one, Cardone went from that spazzy white belt, like everybody, like myself, probably Patches, my coach, probably everybody, to what he, got to at the end there.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
And he really, I remember when right before we stopped doing our privates, when he's, getting ready for his child to be born, he would come over on Saturday mornings. I'm sure Riley remembers this too, because he probably woke her up.
Yeah.
But he would come drive up to the basement. We'd train from 7 a.m. to 9:30.
Now
Just drilling technique.
Yeah.
We might spar the last 30 minutes just to work on positional sparring.
Now, are you still lifting like you used to?
So I've changed a lot of my training toward – it's still bodybuilding, but I do more volume. Than I do anything. My training style is that of my favorite grappler of all time, which is Gordon Ryan. I really designed my weight training after his. Obviously, he's the GOAT. Obviously, subjectively to the Gracies, I'm talking about no-gi submission grappling. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So, my weightlifting and my strength training, cardio, I model that a lot after what he did and probably still does a lot of. Obviously, he's out of the competing now. He's mostly coaching. But I'll do 8 to 12, sometimes 15 to 20 rep schemes. I'll change it up weekly. But I'll still do chest, back, shoulders, arms, and then I'll do legs in between, a split.
Once you started jiu-jitsu, did you notice any shift in your weight training?
Yes. When I started training 5 to 7 classes a week, I can remember my elbow tendonitis got so bad because I was still kind of doing those heavy days.
Yeah.
It got so bad one day. I remember Kyle Moffitt, I was training. Kyle said, "What's wrong with you, man?" I said, "I got to go."
Yeah.
It was July. It was hot. My elbow tendonitis was so bad, my hands were just shaking. They couldn't take it. I was doing too much. Too much. I was sparring too much, and I was lifting too heavy. I went to the truck, just left early from class, went home, and I remember driving home, and my hands were just throbbing, shaking, uncontrollably. And that's when I was like, man, I got to make a switch here. Something's got to change. And that's what I started doing. So I started doing a split midweek. And a lot of your bodybuilders do this too, because it really works. I'll do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, take off Wednesday from lifting, and then Thursday, Friday lift and be off Saturday, Sunday. So I get an extra day off there. You know what I mean? And then I stopped sparring every class, and I would just selectively spar when my best rolls were there, when I felt good. If I didn't, I wouldn't spar. I would use that time to drill. So, but definitely had to make some adjustments in my weight training for sure.
Now, for me, what would you let me give you my situation. So in 2018, I suffered a grade 3 shoulder separation.
Yep.
I don't have pain in the shoulder. I don't feel like I'm limited shoulder wise, but I think that is what's causing my neck issues. So anytime that I've rolled like in the past couple of years, like tried to get into it, it would feel like I had a crick in my neck on that side that my shoulder injury was on.
Right.
It just felt like I had a crick in my neck for like 3 weeks sometimes.
Just one day of training.
Yeah.
So this is what we do.
I was also jumping into like a roll with people. Like I wasn't
Right.
like easing into it.
Be smart with your training partners. So find training partners that are not white belts, or white belts have been trained a while. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just the room.
Yeah.
If you watched and looked around like, oh, this guy's jumping around everywhere, he's wild.
Yeah.
He's a bucking bull. Don't roll with that guy. Roll with the smart training partners and tell them, hey, I'm having issues with this shoulder. If you don't mind, don't Kimura me, Americana me on this shoulder. Don't do any shoulder locks or nothing.
It's mainly my neck is where like I
Right.
think it's from the shoulder, but it's like that. I just have to show you when we're standing up, but it's like, imagine like the worst crick you've ever had in your neck, and that's what I had for like 3 weeks.
I know Patch has had a lot of issues with his neck, which he had a really bad wreck.
Yeah.
But
do you think it's my
he's done
shoulder
fine
that's
with it
causing
over
the
the
neck
years.
pain?
You're what?
You think it's my shoulder?
It could
that's
be.
causing the neck?
It could be a nerve. It could be that nerve that it may be coming down into the shoulder, but it's coming from the neck. Because I had a lot of issues with this one whenever I was lifting at Tompkinsville years ago, and it finally got a lot better. It'll come and go sometimes, but obviously, man, like when I got into competition mode, like everything hurts. But you just got to be smart. You got to listen to your body. If you're doing too much, your body will tell you you're doing too much. Which I got a bad back. I got, now I got this knee that I just had surgery on. I got to watch my elbow tendonitis, my shoulders, both of them jack around with me sometimes. But you just got to listen to your body.
Yeah. Now, are you like? Do you have any kind of like? Do you do like the cold plunge, the sauna, anything like that?
Occasionally, a couple times I've went over to my buddy's gym. I'll give him a shout out, Mario Paredes. He has a gym called South Fork. It's like a cross training, CrossFit style gym. I don't think they label themselves as a CrossFit gym, but they do those style workouts. And he's got a cold plunge sauna. But my gym where I go, I've been going there since I left Tompkinsville gym. It's really close to my jiu-jitsu gym, but Extreme Fitness over in Glasgow, Extreme Health and Fitness. Larry Glass is the owner, and they have a really nice steam sauna. So I try to every day get in that steam sauna, and they did a study in Finland. It not only helps you with your recovery, but there's also a for your body in general and your health in general, 50% decrease in all-cause mortality. And that's an actual finished study that's been completed. So, but it's got to be under 200 degrees.
Yeah,
you don't want to go over the rule of 200.
Yeah, I know Rogan's like super big on the cold plunge and super big on the sauna.
Absolutely.
It's like anything like that I know about cold plunge or sauna has been like secondhand information from his podcast.
So my typical training day is I go to morning class. And then I'll go straight from there to the gym. I'll drink me a shake, and then I'll do my lifting workout, and then I'll do my cardio, core, and then I'll get in the sauna. And then I'll go back home, get Jet, take him to kids class, and then I'll go back to evening class and train in the evening. So I do my sauna kind of. I wish I could do it at night. I wish I had one at the house. That would be ideal. But with what I got, that's how.
Have you looked into the infrared saunas at all?
Yeah, I think those steam saunas just hit a little bit better. I think they're. I just don't sweat much in the infrared sauna.
I've never tried one. I know.
I don't think that it's the same benefit either as that steam sauna. Really? You want that 20% humidity in there.
Okay. I know, like I see, like the infrareds advertised a lot on Amazon. Like they look pretty affordable, but I've been wary of like. I don't want to buy one and not reap the benefits, Right, absolutely. But no, that sauna for just, I think for recovery, that also really helped my joints and stuff. Are you looking to like red light therapy at all?
No, I haven't. There's lots of good recovery tools out there that I need to do some more research.
Do you do
on.
the cold plunge or mainly sauna?
Man, I've done the cold plunge. I think the cold plunge is more of a mental toughness for me. I don't get a whole lot of extra recovery feel out of it.
Yeah.
I know when I was in the State Police Academy, I didn't have a cold plunge.
Yeah.
I literally went to the gas station. I was hurting so bad, my back which I've had back issues,
Yeah.
Before. But my back was hurting so bad one time that I went to the gas station on the way home and bought a bag of ice, one of the big bags, and I went and threw it in the tub and got in that, and that was
Oh yeah.
And I think it did help.
When I read about the cold plunge, I'm looking at like a weight loss standpoint. I've read a lot about like the cold shock proteins and like your body goes into fight or flight.
Right.
So that's like the standpoint I was looking at it from, but I've never done a true like cold plunge.
Right.
I've done like the cold showers. And let me tell you,
Absolutely,
man, the cold shower takes your breath. Somebody listening to this thinking like a cold shower, man, you put that shower on ice cold, like it's gonna take your breath the first time you do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think the longest I've lasted in one was like somewhere over 5 minutes or something.
I was gonna ask what temperature you did if you did.
I think it was 40, 50.
Man, Rogan's down there in the low 40s when he does them.
I think it was 45 or 50.
And like that dude, like you listen to him on his podcast, he goes in there like 4 or 5 minutes at a time. Like, I do the cold shower, man. I got a minute tops.
When he talks about it, does he get in and out, like go sauna, cold plunge, sauna, cold plunge?
He does alternating.
Which one is he in on? I've been told if it's in the daytime, finishing the cold plunge, and at night, finishing the sauna for relaxation.
I think he finishes in the cold plunge, like in the morning.
His
is like the way he explained it. He does the work, like the weightlifting he does, has like really long breaks between his sets. So he does like the cold plunge sauna alternation between like his sets.
Okay.
I know, like he's really big on like kettlebell workouts too.
Yep.
I've got his workout. I used to have it written down like on my marker board in the gym.
It's really good for hip flexors too. Because I'm telling you, grappling hip flexors are a big component. Like I've had a lot of issues here and there with hip flexors.
I wish I could remember. He would do like kettlebells. I know it had like renegade rows and squats and presses and what are they called? It's like a power clean kind of, but like with kettlebells.
Like a hip swing?
Like a hip
kettlebell swing?
Kettlebell swing like into a press.
Oh, snatch. Single arm snatches.
Yeah.
He does them up one side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, snatches.
Of course, like I do a lot of listening to him talk about working out. I need to start incorporating that into my life. Oh, I remember.
Those are very functional workouts.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Cooper. Everybody that can see, I got the mascot, the basement mascot joining me right now. But
no, this whole journey, and I know we've talked a lot about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Just to close it out, first of all, thank Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me the ability to be able to take my body this far. I know I've had my taking some hits here and there on my body and joints and stuff, but I definitely want to thank my wife, Riley. She has been excellent with allowing me the time in my schedule to train as much as I have and to put the, passion into it that I have.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, my son for getting me as committed as I have been. Because I don't know if those 2-a-days would have ever started if he wouldn't have started training as well. So jiu-jitsu's been great for my life. So I'm super grateful. And I want to obviously thank my coach, Patches, for this journey as well.
I'm gonna have to check you out. I'm gonna have to come check you out. And anybody listening out there in the Monroe County, Glasgow, Metcalf region, go check out 13 Jiu-Jitsu.
Absolutely.
Glasgow, Kentucky. Maybe I'll see you there sometime. Is my mics? Yeah, it's still picking up. I've got some audience submitted questions from a couple guys like in my group chats that know you're coming on. You want to work through a few of those?
If you don't mind, will we use a bathroom break?
Yeah.
All right.
No problem, brother. Are you good on time?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good as long.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back from our short little bathroom break. I do have some audience submitted questions from like guys in the group chat that knew you were coming on. So if you're good with it, we'll work through some of these audience submitted questions. And like these are in no particular order, no particular like person that sent them in. I'm sure like at some point you'll know like who some of the questions were submitted by. But we'll start with this one. What was the biggest change you made from your junior to senior year regarding high school football?
Well, I will say this. The biggest change was Neil graduating, going on to Western, because he played. I believe he played flanker his senior year, and I played split end. I kind of went more to where his role was when he was a senior, and then Tanner Turner went to my position, split end. I played more flanker then. So getting used to being the number one receiver was a big adjustment. But I think as far as work ethic, I don't think I made a whole lot of changes. I just kept working on my footwork, my route running. Jackson and I want to say that year we really got more time together, like individually throwing routes and stuff like that. So got a little extra work with him.
Yeah.
Honestly, looking back, the only thing I wish I had changed is I wish I'd hit that weight room harder, because that's one thing I didn't do enough of.
I had Jackson on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you caught the episode, but
I hadn't got to watch it.
He talked about he actually talked about how he uses you like as an example for a lot of his young guys, like talking about like the transition between junior to senior year and like the change guys made like in the weight room and like out on the practice field, in the backyard even.
No, we spent a lot of time at my house and even his house running routes, getting our timing down. Timing was a big thing that we had going on for us,
Yeah, developing that chemistry and
absolutely
like getting used to each other. That's his next question was how many times no, wait, where's it at? So how many throwing sessions did you and Jackson have in the front yard?
Oh, man, countless. Anytime he was at my house or I was at his house, for the most part, we were throwing.
Yeah.
And like I said, got that timing down.
Yeah.
That route running, that timing was everything. He knew where I was going to be before I ran the route. He knew where the ball needed to be and when it needed to be there and where it needed to be. So, yeah.
How many times were you wide open and Jackson didn't throw you the ball?
So I remember one time, I don't even know if I ever told him about it, but I remember Dad and I joking about it. Fort Campbell, your senior year.
Yeah.
That was Antonio Andrews and
Breon Marino, Reese Hughes,
Trayvon Powell. Trey Powell.
Trey Powell, Breon Marino.
So I remember Neil ran backside post, and I kind of like flared out into the other side of the corner of the end zone, and I remember everybody was over there. I was jumping up and down with my arms as big as I could get them. And I remember watching the ball fly into like quadruple coverage, and I was like, well, it is Neil Wilson, so I don't blame you, bro. But, looking back, that was one time I was like, man. But I also remember one time when I was wide open that I dropped the ball against Barron County. So maybe that's why he didn't throw it to me. But,
I wasn't going to bring that one up.
Well, I'll bring it up because it's pretty hilarious. I remember the film session with Coach Pettit. Do you remember the film session?
Yeah, man, Pettit was famous for like if you had a good screw up in a game, he would make sure to point it out in film.
So let's go back to that play anyway. So not my finest moment.
Double
reverse pass. Barron County, third game of the season, I believe. My junior year.
I think it would have been we played.
It's third or fourth.
We played Wayne.
It was homecoming, wasn't it?
Wayne Edmondson. No, Logan was homecoming.
Well, I can't remember, but
I think it was fourth game of the season. We played. We opened with Wayne, Edmondson, Adair, and then Barron.
Okay, so fourth game.
Yeah.
I remember Josh Richardson came up to me at school. He's at Louisville Metro now, by the way. Pretty awesome. He come up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I heard you're getting the first play of the game." I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You guys know what the first play of the game. I knew it was the first play of the game.
Yeah.
So this has already got my nerves going.
Yeah.
So the whole day I sat and thought about being wide open, and getting the first touchdown of the game. So I run my route. Luckily, hopefully there wasn't that many people there yet because this is literally the first play of the game after the kickoff. I remember looking up. Nobody's around me. Not probably 20 yards from me. I remember looking up, the ball was floating through there. It wasn't a rocket. It wasn't one of Jackson's typical laser bombs, And I'm just, easy catch right here on my hip. I looked down, and I ran before I had the ball.
Yeah.
And it bounced right off my hip pad there, or my thigh pad. And I just remember everybody,
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move past that because I don't like to relive that memory. Yeah. Film session.
Hey, man,
Monday
we won
morning.
the game.
Monday morning film session. We were down in the little locker room below the weight room in the old weight room. Good moments in there. Coach Pettis said, "Well, Tooley, you ready to watch film day?" And I said, "Not really, Coach." He said, "Well, let's get to it." Turns it on. He's like, "You're in luck. They missed the first play of the game."
Oh, man. Did they?
So that was never on film. Thank God it wasn't on film.
I bet my dad got it over here, though.
He probably does.
I bet I've got. If you look over here on my bookshelf, I have every game from our sophomore to senior. Well, my sophomore to senior year.
That's awesome.
On the, you remember like the little digital cassettes?
Yeah.
Little time. That's what they're all on that.
I'd love to go back and find my highlight reel that I made this into the colleges, and I just remember because I got rid of all social media when I got in law enforcement.
Yeah.
I got rid of all that stuff, and I can't even. It's probably gone. It's somewhere in the cloud somewhere.
Man, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to have like a group podcast one day.
That'd be cool.
Like get like maybe like just me, you, Neil, like Jackson, Tanner, like get some of the guys.
That'd be awesome.
And do like a podcast where we're watching like go back and watch some of our old game tape or what. I feel like I got the setup here to do
Absolutely.
it. And just film it and whatever happens.
That'd be cool.
I think that would be fun. If you're up for it.
Absolutely. But yeah, so you talking about one of the moments I was wide open. Well, there's two. One that I was wide open, he didn't throw it to me, and the other one was the drop. So, but yeah, some
and
good times.
Mikhail, we need to get Mikhail and like some of those guys here watch some film too.
Yeah, be awesome.
Oh man, it does. You want to feel old? You mentioned Josh Richardson. You want me to make you feel old real quick? His little sister is teaching across the hall from me right now.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I had her in class.
So she followed after mom, huh?
She is. She's teaching like 7th grade, like one of the extension classes. So I think she does like a combo, like kind of like reading, does some math, science, just whatever's like needed at that period.
That's awesome.
No, man, I feel old every morning. I look across that hall and see one of my old students teaching. I can remember when we were like her being like a baby.
Yeah, me too.
When we were kids.
Me too.
This time flies, man. Let's see. What do we get to? What was your favorite play you ran as a Falcon and your most memorable touchdown?
My most memorable touchdown was my first touchdown.
Wayne County?
And I believe it wasn't even a touchdown.
Was it Wayne County?
I believe it was a 2-point conversion. Was it?
Was it Wayne County?
Yeah,
Is that when you held the
finger?
Yeah.
Coach Pettit gave me a lot of crap for that. Yeah. Pointing my finger up in the air. That was my go-to. Every time I scored just about it, I'd hold my finger up. That was just my thing. I don't even remember doing it. I think it was just reactional. But, yeah, probably that's my most memorable, going to the end zone. I don't remember if that was a touchdown or a 2-point. It may have been a 2-point conversion.
I can't remember.
But anyway,
no, it had to be a
post.
We kicked extra points. That was probably a touchdown.
My senior year, backside post was my favorite route. I always loved a break off. Patches. We've been talking about jiu-jitsu. Jackson and I really practiced that break off route a lot, and we got really good at it. If we needed a first down, he knew where the stick was. He knew where the ball needed to be, and I knew where to be.
Man, you put a DB in such a compromising position with a good, like I call it when we run it at middle school, I called it comeback route. But like, if you can run that and you got a good quarterback receiver relationship with the timing and everything, that's uncovered.
I always liked the route. Coach Pett always called it a donut too. I'd run a curl and then take it into an out route.
Yeah,
I always liked that route.
We call that a zig. No, which everybody's got like terminology. There's so many like changes in football terminology from when we played. Like I don't ever remember the phrase edge rusher when we were playing.
No, I don't either.
Like you don't hear people.
But in the draft the other day, they were listing them edge rushers, not defensive ends.
You don't see DNs talk to that anymore. It's all edge rushers.
Are they considering those outside linebackers too, edge rushers?
I guess I'm assuming it's like an outside linebacker DN like hybrid.
Hybrid. Yeah.
Like I think after I graduated, did you guys maybe have like a bandit? Did you guys run a defensive set with a bandit? I
remember hearing bandit, which I was more offensive oriented because I played one way.
Yeah.
I wanted it that way because I wanted to focus being more
I remember at Lindsay we had bandits
Yeah.
Correct. In like a 3-front defense, it's like kind of like you had like your 3-front, and you had like I'd call them like overhangs.
Right.
So I guess I don't know. I don't use the phrase edge rusher in middle school football right now, but that's what everything's like going toward.
Right. But no, yeah, I'd say that was probably that backside post. I loved that backside post route. It was usually always there.
Man, I'll tell you something that I remember from playing football with you, and it has nothing to do with the game. Do you remember we were going to a 7-on-7?
Was that when I had the ball go
Yeah,
fall on my
when
head?
you
And I scared the whole team.
You tore
when
the
we
whole
shook their
dunk.
hands?
I wasn't. I don't think I was. I at the park when you did that.
Wow, what a moment!
Jared Wood drove you to the hospital.
Jarrett Wood. It was Jarrett Wood, Coley Graham, and I believe it was Lori Smith was there.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball go on the far side of the park, and I hope to goodness that they have fixed that ball go.
I don't think
it
they had much
been
of a
broken
choice after
before I
that.
did it, but it had a pole, and it was very heavy, very heavy. So I jumped up and dunked it. I can't even believe I was dunking. I don't even know if I climbed the net. Surely I wasn't dunking. I don't think I ever was a big dunker, but I don't have hops. But I dunked the goal. I was up hanging on the rim, and I wanted to do the spider. You remember the spider?
Yeah.
So I threw my feet up on the backboard, and I heard something crack. Well, instinctively, I should have jumped off the ball goal, but I didn't. I hung on for dear life. And I just remember the slowest fall. It felt like the slowest fall ever. And if I wouldn't have turned my head, the doctor said it would have probably killed me. I mean,
I remember you had stitches.
So when my head hit the asphalt, I turned my head just enough, and the rim went straight off, and I've still got that scar. I had 20-something stitches up my head. So I had blood. This may be TMI, but I had blood squirting out of my forehead. Jarrett Wood, the look on his face, knew how badly I was injured. This guy took his shirt off his back, gave it to me, told me to hold it to my head. We didn't call no ambulance.
Yeah, he drove you.
We got in that truck and give that Chevy 1500 everything it had, that old white truck, to the hospital. And I remember he ran in there with his shirt off. And I always told everybody about Jarrett Wood. He give you shirt off his back because he literally did. Yeah, and
I remember
I was lucky.
that.
I was lucky.
I remember we had a 7-on-7 at Edmondson. Is that
I can't remember where it was. I think it was Edmondson County, maybe.
Now, I remember Pettit's reaction to you when you came in. Had you told him before that what had happened?
I think I told him I wasn't going to be participating.
But you didn't tell him why?
I don't know if I told him why. I think I may have told him why, but I don't think he knew the extent of what my head looked like. But I remember when we shook their hands on that 7-on-7, those guys were looking at me like, man, what's up with this guy? Like,
I remember Coach Pettit didn't his first words when he come into the weight room weren't exactly, "Are you okay?"
Right. Yeah, I looked terrible. That was a terrible incident. I've got a picture at my mom and dad's house. I think I still have a picture of what it looked like around that 7-on-7 game. Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that.
It was pretty. I mean, my head was swelled up.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that might have something to do with my memory here and there.
Oh. No, fun times. Well, not fun times. But
no, it definitely wasn't fun, but it's a memory.
All right, so this next question says, you used to play a substantial amount of golf up till the past couple years. Is there a specific reason you cut back on the golf?
Jiu-jitsu. It's took my time away from leisure. My dad gets on me all the time. That was kind of my father and son game. Dad and I played a lot of rounds of golf together. I can count on one hand how many times I beat him. So, but he's beat me over 100, I'm sure. But that took a lot of time off the golf course. But I've here in recent time I've come to miss it. And I played. I've played 4 times in the last year maybe. But I'm going to try to get back out there once this knee gets a little better. I'm going to try to play a little more golf on the weekends at least if I could get some time off or something.
I've only golfed like in the past 3 years. I bet I've played less than like 10 times. I was a member at Summershade for like 5 or 6 years. And then I don't know. That's a hobby. Like if you don't play golf
and get lessons.
Yeah.
You'll never be good.
Yeah. If you don't, that's just not something you're gonna be good at if you don't consistently,
100%.
And if you like you said, if you don't learn the correct way to play,
So I played golf for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just I was all right. I shoot the 40s on 9 holes. I'd shoot a mid to high 80s, sometimes low 80s if I got, had a really good round. But when I went to the police academy for Glasgow PD, we had a lot of spare time in the evenings. So I took my sticks with me, my clubs, and I would go to the golf course every day after training if I had time. And I would either get a lesson, play the par 3 course, or and obviously I wasn't training jiu-jitsu then. I was in the police academy, or I would I'd play 9 holes or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I started getting those lessons, I actually got my handicap down to a 2 or 3. And I shot a 69 the Burley Brown up here invitational the first day. It's the first time I'd beat Dad in a tournament.
Oh, wow.
He beat me in the end.
Yeah.
The second day, he beat me by more than the strokes that I beat him the first day. But anyway, I actually got pretty good at golf, and then I got back into jiu-jitsu heavy, and that's when I wasn't getting lessons, so I was getting back to that default swing, and I just kind of give it up for a while. I didn't play for a year, I think. And then I'd play here and there. But I play in the state police tournament with Dad and my sergeant and lieutenant in the state police. We'll play in that Post 3 tournament every year. And we plan to play this year, I believe, as well. So.
Now, is that like a bring your own team?
Bring your own team. It's more like a fundraiser for Trooper Island.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Okay. So, next question. Do you have any funny or memorable stories from your military experience that you're comfortable sharing?
Okay. Yeah, I got one. Actually, I got 2. So, this first one was airborne school. And I remember the 30-foot towers, the mock tower. We had one Marine in our airborne school class. And we were up in the mock tower, and this Marine was in front of me. And he said, I don't know. And we call him Sergeant Airborne. Sergeant Airborne's the sergeant up there telling you to jump out of the door. Go.
Yeah.
And we're practicing for our static line jump, and it was Tower Week, so we were getting ready to go to. And Ben Carter, he went through airborne school, so he knows kind of how this goes too. And I remember the Marine was in front of me. He said, I can't go, Sergeant Airborne. I don't know about this. And he said, oh, you're gonna go. He's like, I don't know about this. He said, okay. Mule kicks him out the door. And I remember, I could hear him, holler as he went down. Because you'll go out this tower, when you jump, the line catches you, and you'll go all the way down and ride it to the berm.
Yeah.
And then you disconnect and walk back around. And honestly, the tower was worse than jumping, because I was door jumper once in the airplane, and it was nothing like jumping out of that tower, because you could see the ground. You couldn't see the ground up there. Everything looked like ants. You just saw the clouds, and you couldn't even really make out what was down there, 800 feet. Well, the second time we went up there, Sergeant Airborne asked him, said, you going to jump? He said, yes, Sergeant Airborne. But no, I'll tell you a real embarrassing one. Shout out to my first squad leader in the Army, Sergeant Watts. And there's a lot of words I got to leave out of this. He said a lot of things that still I relive in my dreams. But so I got to my unit, and I can remember Sergeant Watts had a lot of deployments. And he was from Philly. He's a big fighter. He loved to fight. He'd always ask me if I was mad, if I want to go drop tops. If I was mad at him. And, obviously I say, no, Sergeant. I'd be disrespectful to my sergeant. Even though I could probably tell you, and I'm not going to lie about it, I'd like to have dropped tops several times. But in fun, obviously, now. But we're really good friends. We talk on the phone often.
Yeah.
And I remember we were out on the field, and everybody was waiting for their liaison to come pick them up off the airfield there. It was this big open field, and we were in formation. I was standing at parade rest, and I heard all these liaisons are super nice. A lot of them were females, or really nice guys, coming over. Hey man, you ready to go? Private so-and-so? Well, I remember hearing Private First Class Tooley. I was like, moving, sir. I didn't know who it was. So I run across the field, and I see this guy standing there, and he looked hard. I was like, oh, man, who's this guy? I said, yes, Sergeant. He's like, well, you ready to go, Cherry? He called me Cherry for the longest time. Cherry's like a new jumper, right? Like in the airborne, they call everybody a Cherry. You ready to go, Cherry? And, yes, Sergeant. He goes, where's your stuff? I was like, it's back at the company. And he's like, why is it there? I was like, I don't know. Well, he didn't know he wasn't picking me up that day. He was supposed to pick me up the second day.
Oh.
So he goes over and he's like getting after these platoon sergeant stuff. It was over the company or whatever that was just holding us there for our units because we just all got out of airborne school and our units and stuff. And I remember he come back over. He's like, I'll be there to pick you up at 08 in the morning. You better not be late. I was like, yes, sir. So, 07:30, maybe earlier, I was outside with my bag on the ground. I was ready to go. And I remember I'm standing out there, and he's like, he pulls up in his pickup, and he's like, you ready to go? I was like, yes, sir. I throw his bag in there. We get to the company. We were late for final formation.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't a big deal, though, because he was just doing that. It was an errand. And he was understanding. My first sergeant was really cool. And I remember running up, and everybody had their maroon berets on from airborne school. Because when you're airborne, you wear a maroon beret. You don't wear a regular patrol cap that you see these guys wear. So I woke up with my patrol cap. I didn't know I was supposed to go have my beret done and like already formed and everything. I didn't know what our unit logo was or nothing to put on it. So I run up there and first sergeant like, who's this Cherry? And I was like, Private First Class Tooley, first sergeant. He goes, where you from, boy? And I was like, Kentucky. He said, I can tell. He said, I bet you can suck bourbon through a garden hose.
Oh, God.
Because I was from Kentucky. I was like, Roger, first sergeant. He's like, well, somebody take this guy and square him away. Go find him a beret. Looks terrible. Okay. So I go, and the next day is my first day to go to first formation.
Yeah.
And let me just begin by saying this. I've never hardly ever been late for anything in a job-related sense. Yeah. Riley get on me because I'm late to some things that, private things, family stuff. I probably should be here on time. But when it's a professional setting, I'm usually on time. Well, I remember I went to bed, and I was super excited to get up. I want to make sure I was early. And I don't wake up to my alarm. I wake up to beating on my door.
Oh, gosh.
And I hear Reveille playing, which is what they play in the morning, at 06:30 formation. So then I figure out I'm late. Like, I didn't wake up.
Oh, man.
The first day at my unit, and I haven't even met my platoon sergeant. I thought it was going to be Sergeant Watts.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Oh,
I opened the door. It was Staff Sergeant Burlingame, nicest dude you ever met. He's like, well, you ready? Get your shoes on. Because I already had my PT gear on. So I put my shoes on. He's like, you're late. I was like, Roger, Sergeant. So we run down formation. And they've already broke formation. That's how late we are.
Man.
And he's like, my platoon sergeant come up. He goes, late to your first day, Cherry. He's like, it's a great start. He said, I hope you can run. I've never done so many push-ups in my entire life. We took off on this run, and there was this thing at Fort Bragg called Iron Mike.
Yeah.
Iron Mike was pretty close to the company. He said, Tooley, you see that Iron Mike up there? He's like, you run up there, and I want you to do 118 push-ups with your feet inclined up on Iron Mike. I was like, Roger, Sergeant. So I run up. I do 118 straight push-ups. I may have took a little break without going down, but I got them all in. So I run back, sprint to formation. Like, man, Tooley, you're in pretty good shape. He's like, maybe you ain't going to be too bad after all. He told me to go do it again.
Oh, no.
So I do it again. So at this point, not the best at math, was at 236 push-ups.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So we get back to the company, and he's like, let's go to the pit, Tooley. I was like, here we go. I'm going to get my smoke session in. I deserve it. I was late. So we go to the back, and he's like, all right, Cherry. He's like, you grab that rope. I want you to climb that rope to the top, put your hand on the top, say heaven sent, hell bent. That was our motto for our company. So I went up there, said it, come back down. He's like, all right, that's it. Go get your stuff ready for breakfast. Be back formation 08 or whatever, 09. I was like, okay, roger that, Sergeant. I won't be late again.
Yeah.
So I go back, and I'm like, okay, this is over. Well, remember, Sergeant Watts is not there.
Yeah.
He is at a meeting or something. He went somewhere. So I come back to the company, and I'm sitting down there, and we're cleaning. I can't remember what we're doing. We're just waiting for what we need to do the day. We're all in our uniform. Tooley! I was like, oh, boy, here we go. And they're up there where all the brass is, like all the important people, first sergeant, commander. So I run up there, and I get to the door, and Sergeant Watts is standing in the door. He's like, were you going to come in? I was like, Roger, Sergeant. So I step in the door. He goes, oh, my gosh. And he said a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
You're going to walk into Staff Sergeant Rector, your platoon sergeant's office without asking for permission? I was like, negative, Sergeant. So I go back out. I'm like, Staff Sergeant Rector, can I come back in? Or can I come into the office?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, Tooley, come on in. Sergeant White said, you'll pay for that one too, don't worry.
Oh, no.
He's like, put your feet up on the desk. Go ahead and get in the push-up position. So my arms are dead. My chest is just smoked. Why don't you go ahead and knock out 118 for me while I talk to you? So he's just pacing around, got his arms crossed, walking around me. I'm sweat's dripping off my head. I'm nervous as a tick, you know. And he said, so we just show up to the unit. My guys, we just show up whenever we want. We sleep as late as we want to. He said a lot worse than that, trust me. I couldn't tell you how many cuss words were said in that office. He's like, do we just show up whenever we want to? I was like, negative, Sergeant. He said, I don't think so. I think you're on your own schedule. He's like, you knock those push-ups up. So I get done. I got them all done. So where are we at now? I'm whatever that is, 300.
Yeah, that's a bunch.
Yeah, over 350, I guess, or close to it. And he said, all right, go get some paper towels, clean up your mess out of this Staff Sergeant Rector's floor. So I go. That was the last time I was ever late. I made sure I set multiple alarms for every single event. But, yeah, that was a terrible experience.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't told many people that story, so now I guess a lot of people hear it. But, yeah.
I can remember. So I remember, like, I was friends with you, and then Hunter Scroggy went through Marine Basic around the same time.
We went about the same time.
I remember hearing a story, but I can't remember if it was you or him. And like, if I start the story and it was you and you don't want to tell it, like, stop me.
That's fine.
I remember one of you told me a story, like you were out with your what do you call it? Is it a squad? What do you call it? So you're out with your squad or whatever, and like you had laid your gun down to use the bathroom.
So that
was that you or was that Hunter?
That was in the Warrior Leader course. That was not when, let's see, I was not using the bathroom. We were not doing what we were supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we may have been doing what we were supposed to be doing. The guy that was next to me must have been sleeping.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on the gun. So he had the 240 Bravo or the 249. He either had the SAW or the 240. And we're supposed to be pulling 50% security in our patrol base.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're not on 50% security, you could go to sleep, take your nap.
Yeah.
So you're only sleeping about probably 4 hours. Well, I remember my buddy waking me up. And how many times you ever had a dream where you thought you were awake?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not really awake.
Yeah.
I had one last night.
Oh, man.
I had a nightmare last night. It ended up being a cool nightmare, but I had one last night. And I remember my buddy next to me, I don't even remember his name. It was just, I was pretty close with him then. It's just been a long time. He said, hey, man, where's your gun? I said, what are you talking about? I said, and then that's when I'm like, I'm not really awake.
Yeah.
And then I'm also thinking in the back of my head, like, stop fooling with me, man.
Yeah.
I said, stop screwing with me. What are you talking about? Dude, where's your gun?
Yeah.
I said, where is my gun? What did you do with it?
Yeah.
He said, no. They got it. I said, who's got it?
Oh, no.
He said, the cadre have it.
Yeah.
I said, no. He said, oh, yeah, they got it. And I thought still to this time, I'm like telling everybody, somebody give me my gun. Like, who's fooling with me?
Yeah.
Well, remember, I went through MP basic training. I was never, ever taught to put my gunsling, because I didn't go to infantry basic, but now I'm in an infantry setting. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I was in an infantry setting with a lot of infantry guys.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to sling my rifle around my hip when I sleep, keep it connected to my body.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. Well, I learned real quick. I think I posted it, like leaned it next to me. There was a tree or something. I just leaned it against it while I was sleeping. Well, I hear a sim grenade come in, boom. And I was like, oh, man, this is real now. It's really happened.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what this is about. Anytime that happened,
Yeah.
it was the enemy force coming in because we made a mistake, right? So they're like, get your
Yeah.
stuff and get out of here, a lot worse than that. So we're running. I get my rucksack on. We're running to the area where we all met back up, and I look, and here comes the cadre walking in. Big brawly dude, man. I still remember his face today. I can't remember his name. He said, whose gun is this? I put my head down. I stepped up. It's mine, Sergeant. Why is this your gun? Why do I have it? I said, I'm not sure, Sarge. And he goes, where did you have the gun? I said, next to me, Sergeant. He said, why was it not connect to your body? I said, because I was never taught that, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Really? I said, yes, I promise. I was never taught that. I apologize. I'll do whatever it takes to make it right, and I'll never let it happen again. And he's like, I appreciate your ownership. He said, you stepped up, and I may believe you because you didn't go to the basics some of these guys went to. And we got smoked. And I remember, this is when I look back and I was like, maybe I was a pretty good dude with the guys I was with. We had peer evaluations, and only one person out of the whole group gave me a negative peer for that because of the ownership that I took for it. So it was a very bad incident, but it also taught me a lesson that accept the mistakes that you make in life. Mm-hmm. Accept them, own up to them, and you do better. Yeah. And that's what I tell my son in fatherhood. I'm sure you do the same thing with yours. I try to get Jet because he's really hard on himself. If you make a mistake, man, put it behind you and do better next time. And then if your buddy does something in baseball or in jiu-jitsu, pick them up, don't put them down, and say, hey, man, it's okay. You'll do better next time. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's one of life's greatest lessons. Yeah. Just own, we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going
to own up to them, man. We've all made mistakes.
It's so much more stressful to, dance around something and try to weasel. You're just stressing yourself out to the max when you try to dance around something instead of just hey, I did this. And I'm sorry I did it. Let's move forward.
Yeah, don't lie about it. Just own up to it.
I remember
and move on. We've all made those mistakes.
But I can't remember when you told me that story, but I do remember that. And I got a handful.
I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah, story. I remember a lot of things in that vicinity. I don't remember a lot of things like my wife tells me to do, but I can remember several stories Hunter told me when he came back that were, they all, I'm sure they weren't funny to him and that wasn't funny to you at the time, but it's funny to hear the story,
I remember a really, really kind of comical story now. It was the worst memory that I have to this day of the military. I was in the Star Course as a land navigation course. Mm-hmm. And in the Star Course, you got 5 points. Yeah. And they're all spread out, and you start at dark. You've got a pair of ranger beads, and you've got to keep up with your steps, direction, terrain off the map to traverse the, and navigate to the next point. Mm-hmm. Point, till you get to 5. When you get to the 5th point, you complete the Star Course. You got a time frame to do it. I think it was 10 or 12 hours. I can't remember now. But I remember it was point 4. I think it was point 4. And it was just got daylight. Mm-hmm. And I remember that I was really close to the point, but I thought I was a little close on my time. I was like, man, I really need to get through this draw. And what a draw is like in Kentucky, let's dumb this down to, redneck terms like I put it, a thicket, a big thicket. This thicket was much bigger than I thought it would be when I was looking at the map. But it's summertime and everything is grown up. Everything's green. You can't really see what's inside. Yeah. So it's like, okay, if I go through this thicket and get to the other side, I'm only going to be about a click or less from. I should be able to see the smoke off of this next point because they'd start a fire in the woods and they'd usually put it in a low spot, so you'd have to find it. It wasn't going to be out in the open. So I go into this thicket. And I remember as soon as I got into it, maybe 10, 12 steps, it was starting to get thicker, thicker, and thicker to the point that I couldn't even walk any further. My rucksack was catching. Yeah. We had a rubber gun, and I couldn't get through. Yeah. And I'm taking my elbows, and I'm hitting, I'm getting angry. And what I did was, not only did I dig myself a hole getting in there, I didn't know which way I went when I started twisting and turning. Yeah. So I remember this. I took my rucksack off, I slammed it on the ground, slammed my gun, got in my rucksack. I'm sweating. It's nasty. Yeah. I've got mud all over me. I was in a swamp. Yeah. It was at this point, there's probably water moxing around. It was a nasty little swamp. Yeah. And I get down my rucksack and I pull out MRE. I saved a Snickers bar or something. Yeah. It was some kind of candy bar. And I just sit down on my rucksack, opened it up, just sit there and ate it for a minute. I'm like, just chill out. Yeah. We're going to get through this. So I get back up and I take my gun and I just keep on trucking. Yeah. And I'm starting to hear, I'm getting mad and I'm saying a lot of things really loud. Yeah. Well, I all of a sudden pop out of this thicket, fall out of it. and this other guy falls out of it like really close to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. Like, we're both in there screaming.
Yeah.
You know, Bloody Mary, and we had no idea we were next. That's how thick this was.
Yeah.
And I get out to the other side, and I'm like, okay, I hope this is the right direction that I had. And I kept going, and I kid you not, I saw this smoke coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, God, I hope that's it, man. Because if that ain't it, because if you get one wrong, it's over, right?
Yeah.
So I go up there, and I go up to him like, hey, is this it? I was like, I think so, Sarge. You know? And he looked at it. He said, "You got it." I was like, "No way."
Man.
But after that, I never went through. In the last point, I went all the way around. Like I wasn't playing no games. Well, conversely, my best friend in the Q course, or my best friend in the land nav at that time, it was during selection. There was a pond, all right, and it was like less than a minute to get across. Mm-hmm. This joker was not going to make it around this pond.
Yeah.
He takes his rucksack off, pulls out. We had these things called it was like a wet weather gear, like a poncho.
Yeah.
He wraps his rucksack with the poncho, jumps in the pond, swims it across, and makes it with like 5 seconds left.
Oh, wow.
And the cadre, I'll never forget it. He's like, "Well, son, I have to say, I've never seen that before." He said, "That was fantastic." He's like, "That's excellent." So, yeah, that was a moment that I look back as a terrible moment. It ended up being a success that I should have made better decisions.
So the dude that fell out, was he doing the same thing you were doing?
I don't know where he went from that point. We went separate because you couldn't be close to people. So I went a different route.
Yeah.
You know,
So you were going through this like by yourself.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to the same point I was. Yeah. He just got caught up in the same mess. Like I'm gonna go through the draw.
Oh man.
Terrible idea.
Oh man. So this is like, am I understanding this right? Like you're learning like navigation, like
it was a land nav star course. Yeah. What it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you have a map like when you?
You have a map, and then you have to go through that map. And my sergeant, when my first unit, always told me, cut. What do you say? Draw it twice, cut it once, or something like that. Right. So make sure you got it right before you cut that plan out and go with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And once you planned it out, like you got to see how many clicks you think it is, like what the distance is. And
so how far is a click for those listening that don't know?
Like a kilometer.
Okay.
Yeah, and you got every kilometer you're taking a bead off. Right?
Yeah.
And that's how you're keeping up with it. And you look at your ranger beads. That's how far you went. It's been a long time. Yeah. And honestly, man, it's been so long that if I went to the star course right now, I'd hate to see the resolution of it. I'd hate to see the conclusion of it.
Which part of your training was this that you're like going through?
That was during SFQC Special Forces selection, the STAR course.
Oh wow!
And you do another STAR course in the actual qualification course, but yeah, that was a very, very difficult time.
I can remember the day that you were coming home. Do you remember where I was and where you were?
When I was coming home, when I got out?
Yeah.
You called
me the day you were coming home. Do you remember this at all?
It had to be in January because I got out in January of 20.
I can't remember what. Yeah.
17.
But I remember. Do you remember calling me?
I remember calling a few people.
Yeah, you called me to see if I had a key to the wellness center.
Oh, really?
I was at the wellness center when you called me.
I don't remember that. Like I said, man, I'm not the best. You have a really good memory, too, because I heard you and Mikhail talking about like a practice years ago. Like, there's no way I could remember.
You called me and asked me if I had a way to get in the wellness center, and I was like, I'm actually up here right now. And you were like, I can't remember if you said Livingston or Cookville. But you're coming through one of those places.
It was like, Livingston would have been.
Yeah. You're like, I'm coming through. I'll be there in a little bit. Man, you did like a deadlift set when you got back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember it.
But no, good times, man.
All right. So I've already asked that one. All right. So this is a football / jiu-jitsu question. Who were players you looked up to while you're playing football, and who are some grapplers that you look up to now?
Football. I have to say I'm a Cowboys fan, which this is controversial because T.O. also went to the Star. You remember when he played for was it the Eagles or San Francisco? He went to the Star, and then I think
it was the Eagles.
Somebody tackled him at the Star or whatever.
Yeah.
I have to say Terrell Owens, I really looked up to Terrell Owens. T.O. was probably my all-time favorite receiver.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't think he's the best receiver of all time or anything like that. Also, I liked Des Bryant a lot as far as receivers go. But yeah, I always looked up. T.O. was kind of like, I always loved that number 81.
Des Bryant retired really young too.
He did. Yeah, I hated to see him go.
Calvin
him
Johnson,
and Romo had a really good connection.
Calvin Johnson retired really early. Luke Kuechly.
Chad Ochocinco, he played several years. Didn't he? Yeah, he played several.
Yeah, he was always a guy I loved.
T.O. played way up there too.
Didn't Ochocinco and T.O. play together? Were they on a New England team toward the tail end of their careers?
I don't know. I just remember Ochocinco playing at Cincinnati most of his career. I don't remember where he went.
I think one of the last years of their career, I think they both went to New England with Tom Brady. I may be dead wrong on that, but I think they did.
But I tell you what, present time right now, Dallas has got some really good receivers right now. Their offense is really good. I'm hoping these pick up. They had a good draft. They got some edge rushers.
Did you watch that Dallas? I think it was on Netflix. The documentary. Oh, kind of went around Jerry Jones and when he bought the team.
I watched clips of it. I need to watch the whole thing.
Was it on Netflix?
One of my buddies from the Army, that's how we became friends, Cowboy. He was telling me he watched it. I need to watch that whole. I have so much time in the jiu-jitsu videos and coaching stuff that I don't prioritize.
So who are some grapplers you look up to now? I know you mentioned Gordon Ryan.
So Gordon Ryan, obviously, I don't per se like his style on social media, where he has no time, but as far as grappling sense and just watching Jet watches a lot of Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, his instructionals are unreal.
Yeah, and his coach John Danaher, he's no offense to my coach, I don't think he would take any offense to this. Considered the greatest, even MMA. Definitely jiu-jitsu coach of all time, but he's not just a jiu-jitsu coach. He coached George St. Pierre a lot when he was towards the end of his career.
I'm a big GSP fan, and I remember that's how I learned who Gordon Ryan was through GSP went on the Rogan podcast.
Gordon Ryan in the ADCC would literally take a letter, an envelope, and he would put his submission that he was about to do in the envelope, set it down, and do whatever he said he was going to do. Won over 150 matches, and over 130 matches were via submission. Incredible.
Yeah, he's insane.
Will never be redone, in my opinion.
And he's not really been healthy.
No,
he had
he's
all
had
the
a
stomach
issue for years, and that's what made him come to the close, because he could still be dominating the game right now.
Imagine how dominant he would have been not dealing with that too. Imagine if he doesn't have the stomach issues, how dominant.
I'll tell you another grappler that I really enjoy is Marcelo Garcia. In gi, and he's excellent in both, but really good in the gi as well. Yeah. A guy that I really look up to for a lot of my gi play. I get a lot of I do a lot of instructional training too. I like to do that. Marcus Tinoco, he's the leg lasso king. I like to play a lot of leg lasso guard. So very, very, very knowledgeable in the leg lasso realm of things. But yeah, all those guys. There's several really. Craig Jones has a real different style. It's not really my style. He's got that kind of inverted. He does a lot of odd things. And definitely has an odd personality. But no, as far as overall, if I had to pick one, it'd be Gordon Ryan for sure.
Gordon Ryan's probably the only true jiu-jitsu practitioner that I'm familiar with. Outside of that, I watch a lot of UFC. Do you keep up with the UFC much?
Yeah, I've been watching it more since they went to Paramount. Plus, because I had a Paramount for the longest.
It's a lot better for the viewer.
Yeah,
I worry that it's going to hurt the UFC in terms of revenue. I don't know how great for the fighters it is either.
So you and Jax may have discussed this, but I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
top 3 fighters of all time in UFC, who would you pick?
Now, my GOAT is going to be different than most. Like, 99, well, maybe not 99%. A lot of people are going to say John Jones. And, like, I completely understand the argument for John Jones. I'm going to put Jones at 2, and I'm going to put GSP at 3. I think George St. Pierre obviously didn't go undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
He lost twice in his career, and he avenged both losses. He dominated for like the entire duration of his career. Takes a 5-year layoff, comes back, jumps a weight class. And like the weight class he jumped was a 15-pound jump. It wasn't one of the 10-pound jumps. He jumped from welter to middleweight and wins the belt at middleweight, defeats Michael Bisping. So GSP is my GOAT. John Jones, number 2. And then 3. Oh, man. That's where it gets wishy-washy. I'm going to have to throw Khabib in there, though, for right now.
I'm between 3, Khabib and Mighty Mouse.
That's another good one.
Man.
Mighty Mouse. He doesn't get his flowers a lot of the time.
No, he doesn't.
Because he's in one of those smaller weight classes that people,
but a very competitive weight class.
Yeah. You know where he's from?
No, where is he
He's from Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's
got a lot of good jiu-jitsu content.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of that stuff now.
I can't remember where he fought out of. He was never fighting out of Kentucky, but he's from Hopkinsville. I met him in Bowling Green at oh man, he did some kind of signing in Bowling Green one time. I can't remember what it was for.
But I think if Khabib was still fighting today, I don't know if he'd still I think he'd still be undefeated. I do. It's just so dominant.
Good chance. Islam would probably be the only.
It'd be a really good fight.
The thing about Islam is he's got the stand up to match with the ragdoll.
He does.
Islam can
But
ragdoll
Khabib's
you.
kind of like Khamzat.
Yeah.
If he wants to take you down, he's going to take you down. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when.
Well, and
who wants to.
Khabib changed the entire landscape of the game too.
That's when
you remember the
Sambo really came into the picture.
Well, you know that leg triangle thing he does.
Yep,
to people?
trapping the legs. I use that in my roles in jiu-jitsu. I love that.
Yeah. Well, imagine how how bad that sucks rolling. Mm-hmm. Now imagine somebody's raining fist on you while your legs are trapped.
Yep.
That's. Oh man, and I started trying to do that after I watched him, and then like Poirier changed the game with the calf kicks. Like Poirier wasn't the first person to do the calf kicks, but he beat McGregor with calf kicks, so obviously it got escalated the attention that got.
Yeah, people see the calf kicks on TV and they're like, nah, what's
yeah, let me kick your calf 3 times.
Exactly. And you can see those guys like. I remember it was one of who was it? I can't remember who it was. The last fight that he had. It was one of the last 2 fights that he got. But Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
The dude kicked him in the leg so many times when he walked off. He didn't show it.
Yeah.
But when he walked off he was limping hard to the gate or to the door. He was hurting. There
was a doctor that came on Rogan and explained why the calf kicks were so devastating. I can't remember exactly, but it had something to do with the fluid buildup in your calf doesn't the fluid doesn't leave your calf in the same way that it leaves other parts of your body.
And then you got Anderson Silva kick. Oof.
There's a drainage system or something in the other parts of your body where it's gonna hurt, but when you get kicked in the calf, it stays and it kills that calf.
Do you remember when Anderson Silva kicked that dude? And I can't even remember who he was fighting. Who was he fighting that
man,
day?
If you hadn't said it,
that was one of the nastiest things I've ever seen.
Broke his leg in the same way a few years later.
Nasty.
Oh, what was his name? Man, that guy's still fighting. He's a popular fighter. I say that guy. The dude he broke his leg against is also very prominent. Oh, I'm going to have to Google it. Anderson Silva.
But yeah, mine would go 3-2 to 1, 2, 3 would be, let's see.
Chris
third.
Weidman.
I'd probably go, man, Mighty Mouse is is very underrated. I would probably put Khabib at 4. I'd put him at 3. I'd put George St. Pierre at 2, and I'd put John Bones Jones at 1.
Yeah.
I just think John Jones is the most dominant ground striking.
Yeah.
Like, he is just a master of every portion of the art. If you didn't know, Gordon Ryan did his grappling camp for his last fight. That's pretty awesome. He was in his corner there in that last fight.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, there's so many. And so many good up and comers right now. It's a really competitive. Every weight class is competitive right now.
What do you think about
Ilya's pretty.
What do you think about Bo Nickel?
Bo Nickel, and I really enjoyed watching Bo Nickel and Gordon Ryan's grappling match.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
There's another guy doing some grappling right now too. That's a UFC guy. Michael Chandler's doing some grappling. Uriah Faber. Oh, it was Jax's guy, Colby Covington.
Okay, yeah.
He's been doing some grappling stuff as of late.
And I think it's good to get those grappling matches in too. If you're doing mixed martial art like UFC stuff like that, I can only see it being a benefit to you as well.
Have you ever been to fights?
I've never been. I want to go.
Man, we need to.
I should have went to the Nashville one when they had it. Jax went.
We need to go to let's just go to one of the Hard Rocks in Bowling Green.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You will not have a bad time.
And I think some of the guys at Fuel fight in those Hard Rocks.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you guys have anybody fighting out of 13?
We don't have anybody that's fighting UFC. There's a couple guys, or in MMA, there's a couple guys wanting to get into, or I know one that would like to do it, but it's just so far to go for any kickboxing or legitimate Muay Thai or anything like that. There is a Muay Thai gym in Glasgow. I'm just not sure about it. Never been there. I think it's on Reynolds Road if it's still running. I'm not sure. I've never been there.
Yeah.
But I was going to start kickboxing over at Donnie Wallace's in my spare time. But the problem is I don't have any much spare time.
Yeah.
And it's a long drive, like I said. So.
I like watching guys that are like
very
different.
Proportionate.
Yeah, I like watching different styles match up. Like the way when the UFC was founded, like it was my style versus your style. Whereas like now it's evolved. Like you got to be well rounded to compete.
Yeah,
I like watching like Taekwondo, like karate guys fight a lot though.
Yep.
Like the side kicks, man.
Yep.
Oh, if you eat a side kick to the liver, kidneys, it does not feel good.
Yeah, it's really evolved over the years, and that's the cool thing about it. It's going to continue to evolve too.
When I sparred, like my reach is really short, but even for my height, my reach is like short. So I would use like a lot of the times I would use like a little side kick or like a teep or like a front kick as like a jab.
Yep.
Like that's how I'd gauge like my range because my reach was so short. Like I just had a hard time getting inside on guys. I'll tell you what, when I had my second fight coming up in Bowling Green, I did some cross training at a boxing gym in Bowling Green called BGKY. The guy that owned it, he ended up moving, but I think it's still ran by a guy named Zach Mason.
Okay.
He played football at Western Kentucky. Might have been a running back. I can't remember where he went to high school. But at the time, I'd never been to a boxing gym. So, like, I'd been doing, like, all this MMA training, and I go to this boxing gym. I think actually Derling Catalan recommended me to go to this boxing gym for some cross training.
Yeah.
And so I go, and I'm expecting, like, to have better cardio than everybody there because I had been training MMA, jiu-jitsu, and, dude, boxing cardio is different cardio. It was insane.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I dabbled in boxing.
Yeah.
When I was in the Army, and just beating a bag cardio.
Dude, like when you're boxing sparring, there's not like a lot of downtime to catch your breath.
No.
There's especially if the guy like you're sparring with sees that you're getting winded, like he's going to track you down. And like when you do clinch up, like whereas like MMA, if you and I clinch, like I can maybe take that opportunity to catch my breath a little bit if I'm protected. That like in boxing, the ref's going to separate you. Like you don't have time to catch your breath.
Jet's been doing a little cross training. He's been doing a little cardio class boxing over at the gym next door.
Yeah. Now what's it called?
What don't know what the gym is called, but Dalton runs it. Trying to think what the actual.
I may
gym
have
is called.
seen some videos on Facebook.
That's terrible that I can't tell you the name of it. But I'm terrible with names anyway. But yeah, no, it's right next door to our. That's probably the closest boxing gym around here that you can go to, and it's really good.
Yeah.
He actually has a guy that's done really well in the region in some pretty big fights.
Yeah.
So he knows his stuff, Dalton.
Yeah. I also remember when I was at the boxing gym, like getting a lot of weird looks because, like, when we're sparring, I would switch stance a lot.
Yeah, southpaw.
And you don't see that a lot in box. Like, guys in boxing,
No, you see it more in Muay
they
Thai.
stay like orthodox or they stay southpaw. Like, and I'm switching stances, which I can see where they can get you in trouble boxing too. But I was getting a lot of weird looks sparring, switching my stances.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, I guess it was just like an instinctive thing. It's like if I threw a side kick, I always like to throw my side kick with like my left leg. Whereas if I'm throwing like a round, I like to throw with the lead leg a lot, so I'd keep my left foot in front. But we'll move on. I think I got one more audience submitted question, and it was, who was the better receiver between you and Casey?
That's a super easy answer.
Like, I know what you're gonna say.
Believe it or not, I'm going to say Dad. Dad, I've watched film of him and John.
See, I've never got to see film from that team.
And
I would love to watch some
I
videos.
had a picture in my bedroom of Dad. It was a Monroe versus Glasgow, and it's a picture of him jumping over. I think it was 2 Glasgow guys. His hands are right over the top of them. And it was an awesome picture. But no, Dad, I watched his tryouts when he went to try out for the league or like the combine. Him and Jabbar Pipkin. It's pretty cool, man. Dad was a heck of a receiver. No, I didn't compare.
I've heard stories. I'd love to check that game tape out.
Yeah, he had them on old like tapes, like big tape.
Like he was on the 10-0 regular season team, right?
Yeah, he was with John and.
Now, did that team?
John
they went to semi.
What's his name? Rossi. What was his name?
John Boy Ross.
John Boy Ross.
Yeah, I don't know him. I just always heard. Yeah.
They had more players than that. I don't want to leave anybody out. That's just the ones that Dad told me when I was younger.
No, was it Mayfield that put them out?
Yeah, Dad had mono. He didn't get to play that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a difference maker right there.
Yeah. I know it killed him probably not to get to play that game, but
yeah.
But no, that was an awesome team, man. I wish I'd have got to see that team in real life play. Yeah. I mean, we had some really good teams too.
Man, I would love.
It's kind of a different game too.
You just the game, like Braxton. I talked to Braxton Walker and like Georgie a lot, and we were talking the other night, just like how different like the game is from like you look at like those teams in like the late '80s and then the '90s and then us, like just the play style.
Yeah, smash mouth football.
Like me and you were talking earlier, like terminology and like defensive sets. Like just football is just watching like the cycles of evolution like the football goes through, and like now you're starting to see like the NFL, some of the like the old school like philosophies. Kind of like you're starting to see like mobile quarterbacks running like read option, triple option, and then NFL. I thought I'd never see that again.
West Coast offense. Yeah, it's going to continue, and it's just like anything. Everything evolves and changes, and it's interesting to see what route everything goes.
So I don't know if you watch like Jax's or McKell's like whole episode, but like I do like each episode I do like a different segment. Like I've been doing like would you rather questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I've got a new segment I'm gonna try out with you on here. It's called Out.
We may have to do like the most bathroom breaks ever.
You gonna do a bathroom break? Yeah, I need to too. I was trying to hold it. Ooh, and we're back. So I've got a new like little segment I'm gonna try, and it may go terrible. I don't know, but it sounded fun. This segment we're gonna call it Out of Context. So what it is I'm gonna read a line to you, and the line could be anything. Like they're all random, and you're just gonna try to give me like your immediate gut reaction to whatever I read. Then we'll go from there.
All right.
It may turn into a conversation, or we might just go through them. Just whatever. We're just gonna kind of go with the flow, see how it goes.
All right.
So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Group projects are just punishment for the responsible kid.
Are you saying I agree or disagree?
No, just your first thing that comes to mind when you hear the line. It can be agree, disagree, whatever.
I'm indifferent.
Really?
On it. I've seen. I think the most responsible way to handle those situations is individual conversations, beginning especially outside of the context of the group. You know, one-on-one conversations.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. That's how I usually tried to. Or you can single them out. And then talk to them later. I don't think group consequences are necessarily the best that everybody should pay. But like I said, different contexts. So I think in a team aspect, I think those are good opportunities to make it a group discipline. That way the cohesion of the team or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as like individuals and in some standpoints, I think individual discipline is better.
I got you. All right. If you still use Facebook daily, you're stuck in 2012.
I think social media is the absolute worst thing ever. It has its positives for advertising and whatnot, but I think for people's anxiety and stresses of life, I think you'd be better off without it. I remember actually when you remember MySpace?
Yeah, dude. I was just talking about that the other day.
Didn't Justin Timberlake own like MySpace at some time? Like, wasn't he like a partial owner or something?
Yeah, I think like he had something to do with it.
But really, Facebook is just topics now.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. You remember topics? Like that's what Facebook is.
Facebook, like I don't know, like I got middle school kids every day, and like if they catch me like on my Facebook, like on my phone, they like make fun. They're like, "Oh, you're on Facebook? What are you, 60 years old?" Because like they're all on like.
Well, see, that's not a question to ask me because I don't have any. I don't have Snapchat.
I know, like
Instagram, nothing.
Dude, they like the kids now like make fun of Instagram too. Like they act like that's crazy. I can't remember what it's called. They've got one. The new social media that they use is like their phone will ding like throughout the day, and when it dings, you're supposed to take a picture of yourself, and it's a two-way picture. So your front camera shows you, and then it takes a picture of whatever's in front of you at the same time.
So it's like Snapchat with a double image.
Yeah, but it's like periodically it asks you like. So I guess like people are looking and they see where you're at or what. I don't know. I think it's called Be Real is what it's called. I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then there's like Threads now. I don't know. Like I see like advertisements.
That sounds like topics.
I see Threads.
Threads sounds like topics.
Pretty much is what it is, except you're not anonymous.
I'd say it's an excellent way for bullying in schools. Is all that is.
Yep. Snapchat. I still use Snapchat, but
I think when I got rid of social media, it eliminated a lot of unnecessary time.
So do you not have any social media?
No. I use Riley's if I need to use it because sometimes I have to use it for my job and stuff like that.
The podcast is really all that's keeping me connected to social media right now. Yeah. Of course, like it'd kind of be impossible.
My buddy takes breaks from it, and I think that's healthy. Like he'll go a while without it, and then he'll get it for a little while. And he definitely tells me that life's a lot better without it.
If you see me post on social media, 99% of the time I'm sharing like a podcast episode.
Right.
like I couldn't tell you the last time like.
Well, those reels on Facebook, that's what kills most people's time. Like a lot of people will sit there for hours and watching those reels. And I found myself watching those reels because when I started using Riley's Facebook, it would start showing my grappling stuff.
Yep.
And then, here's a technique. Here's a technique.
Your algorithm caters to like what it sees you
and actually
watching.
For jiu-jitsu that's terrible. You shouldn't use a lot of those Facebook videos are complete crap. It's clickbait and that's all it is for views. If you really want to watch like really good grappling tutorials and stuff and instructionals, you need to watch BJJ Fanatics because
let me tell you one that not scared me. Yeah, it freaked me out the other day. It's like you hear people say like your phones are listening to you all the time, right?
Oh yeah. They also know where you're going.
So like I've always like I know that the phones can whatever listen to you. Am I recording yet? Make sure I'm actually recording before we get into like a deep conversation.
Oh, you're good.
But like you hear like phones are listening to you. Blah. I never really like looked that deep into it. Right. The other night, Michaela and I were talking, and like you used to play guitar too.
Yeah.
Do you still play some?
I play occasionally, yeah.
I like pick around on mine every
Yeah,
now and
I don't learn
then.
anything.
I don't
new
even have
hardly.
calluses.
Yeah, I mean, hardly
So
either.
I was thinking about selling my electric guitar the other night.
Yeah.
I play like legit like every now and then for a minute or two just for the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't got on Google. I haven't searched anything about a guitar in probably 5 years. Michaela and I are in the kitchen the other night. I was talking about selling my electric, and I made the comment, if I sell my electric, I know what I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy a Taylor acoustic guitar. I've always wanted one. 10, 15 minutes later, I get on my phone. I pull up Facebook. I have ads for Taylor guitars all over my Facebook.
It's crazy.
I hadn't.
It's got to be listening.
I had not Googled anything I hadn't searched anything to do with a guitar in 5 or 6 years. There's no shot that was coincidental.
Got to be listening.
Yeah.
I've had similar things.
It was
happen.
a Taylor. I mean, it was that specific. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I know, like.
And then when you get in your car, Maps tells you where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning when I get up, it says, when I'm not working,
Yeah.
it'll say 13 jiu-jitsu and go.
Yeah.
You know, right on my screen.
Oh, yeah.
You get
And
your schedule down pat.
And like I was watching Rogan the other night, and some guy was on there talking. You know, you ever go to Target?
Occasionally,
So,
we've
like,
been to Target and Bowling Green.
After you buy something at Target, if you pay with your card, it's got like it's like a terms and agreement type thing that pops up.
Okay.
If you click agree on that or whatever, you're agreeing for them to track your phone and card like while you're in the store.
No idea. I'm gonna tell Riley that. She probably ain't reading.
So
it.
when
She
you're in
goes more than I
Target,
do to Target.
so when you're in Target, if you've agreed to that, if you spend like 15 minutes in the toy section,
yeah,
and then like you just kind of breeze around the rest of the store, your ads for the next little bit will be stuff that was in that aisle you were in.
wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and you're agreeing to it when you fill out when you pay with your card and you click through that.
Yeah, there's no sense of privacy anymore.
No. And I mean, it's genius because
And you know
like,
those Alexas and stuff. You know, they're listening.
And like I noticed too, like if you use Amazon if you use Amazon or like even some other shopping sites that I've noticed, if you throw something in your cart on Amazon and you don't buy it immediately, but you leave it in the cart, in about 2 or 3 hours, Amazon will send you an email with like a coupon for that thing in your cart.
Advertising.
Mm-hmm. Now that's beneficial because if you like, just
if
leave
you
it
were
in the
thinking
cart if
about
you
it,
want.
Well,
Yeah.
there's your discount.
Yeah.
That's good.
So there's a little tip for anybody listening: leave stuff in your cart for a little bit before you buy it. All right, the next one. Adults who order chicken tenders at a steakhouse can't be trusted.
Yeah, that's just wrong. You can't. You
I
can't
know
order.
people like
Now,
that though.
I have ordered like a nice grilled chicken,
Yeah.
rice and
Yeah.
or potato or something. No, I'm not getting chicken
Yeah.
tender. That's a child's menu. For
Dude,
sure.
I couldn't tell you the last time I like ordered chicken tenders for myself.
Yeah, same.
And now I like
I've ate jets that he's left behind.
Oh, I do too.
If I'm still hungry.
Oh, what is your favorite? Like, if you're not gonna cook yourself a steak, like, where's your favorite place around here to go for a good
Man,
steak?
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know what it is in this last year, but do you remember when I used to eat steak only? Do you remember when I used to do that? And I would eat ribeye when I was 242.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, I rarely ever eat steak anymore.
Really? You just
I
burn
can't
yourself out
even
on
go.
it?
No, it's not. It's chewing it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't even go hard. Like I have to go somewhere even better than. Like I gotta go to an expensive steakhouse that has really nice tender steak.
Mm-hmm.
Like because it just seems like everything's marbly, too much fat, and I can't chew it. So I've just lost interest in steak. But Riley and I and Mom, we went to what's the steakhouse in Bowling Green? There's two nice ones. Tony's. We went to Tony's, and I've been to the other one too.
Is it like Hickory and Oak?
Hickory and Oak.
Yeah.
So I've been to both of those. Excellent steaks.
Yeah.
So I can eat steaks at those kind of steakhouses. But if I go to a steakhouse now, I just about get grilled chicken or something else that they've got. I've been a sucker here lately for sushi's been my favorite food.
I
Like
love
my dad and
sushi.
I have both moved to we're like
What's your go-to sushi order?
Oh man. I love them literally all, but if I had one sushi roll at Shogun, By the way, if you haven't checked out Sushi Train in Nashville, if you've never been to a Sushi Train,
They used to have one in Bowling Green.
$13 or $14 for lunch menu.
I think COVID
20
killed.
something, and you can eat any of them that you want, but you can only eat the certain color ones.
Is it like the one that was in Bowling Green, or like
Probably
the
is. It's on a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I stacked a plate. I went to train at Sean Hammond's one day.
Mhm.
I ate it before I went and trained.
Yeah.
And
Oh, man.
I ate a stack of plates like that. I mean, I
Oh,
sent it
man.
out in the group chat, 13, all the guys. But anyway, no, I'd say my go-to, if I had to pick one, is the geisha roll at Shogun. Man, that roll is.
I like that one.
And I like the hillbilly roll too.
Dude, it's like very simplistic, but my favorite sushi roll is just the Philly roll.
Philly roll. I like spicy Philly too.
And I love a good Philly roll.
Have you ever had the spicy salmon, tempura salmon or whatever?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
one's good. And
I like
tempura.
that one. I'm not big on like, if I get sushi, I like salmon. Like I want anything with salmon. I don't really go for the crab meat much.
Nah.
I want to feel like I'm really eating sushi.
Yeah. I like when I first started, I was on the fried sushi.
Yeah.
Everything fried.
Yeah, that's how I started too.
But now I like it raw. Like I like the Boston roll. I like
what
the
are those
Philly
things
roll.
called? That's like the ball of rice, and it's got like the, you know what I'm talking about? It's like a ball of rice with like a big fillet of salmon like laid over.
Well,
the
now
top
they've
of
got.
it.
Is it the one they call the sandwich up there?
I'm not sure.
They've got one now on a special on because I go to every week on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
For the most part, I go every week.
Yeah.
Patches and I go, and sometimes
Mhm.
Mario will go with us, and we'll go. And Dad goes sometimes. We'll get the half price sushi day, and Jet and I'll go at night sometimes on Wednesdays, and
Dude, I
it's
like
delicious.
I like the sushi at New Century Buffet at Glasgow.
I haven't tried. Yes, I have tried it.
Yeah.
I've tried it a couple times.
I mean, if you're just looking for like some cheap sushi, it's pretty. I like it.
Yeah, sushi.
I
Man.
love New Century.
But yeah, that's pretty good rolls up there at Shogun. Shout out to them. They got it going on that half price. I wish it was a little cheaper because I'd eat a lot more rolls.
Oh
but
yeah.
it's pretty good stuff.
All right. Next one. If your phone battery is always less than 20%, that says something about you.
Casey Tooley.
Really? Yeah, then me too. Mine's
Talking to Casey Tooley, phone dies.
Yeah.
Did he hang up on me or lose service? No, his phone died.
Yeah.
I want to say
Do you keep yours charged?
Oh yeah. Anytime I get in the car, which my police car, I keep one of the magnet chargers.
Yeah.
So it's good for my maps because it's just right there in front of me, and I keep it on that charger all the time. I try to keep my phone, which Jet. I don't know if your son ever does screen time.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible idea for kids, by the way. But I do. Sometimes he gets a little screen time, and he'll run that battery down real quick with the games and the apps and the. But I try to keep it up.
Does he watch YouTube or?
He likes the what is that game called? Roblox.
Yeah.
So, but he don't do the one where he talks to. It's just the basic games and stuff, and he plays like baseball.
Both of mine are on Roblox.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a big thing, and he's got the little friends from jiu-jitsu.
We could probably get them.
Like,
We could hook them up and play Roblox.
Yeah, that'd be cool. He'd like that. But you shouldn't let your phone get under 50. I think it's like a gas tank. Keep your gas tank above 50%. Keep your phone battery above 50%.
My bar's always red.
Well, it's easily done now.
If I lay down at night to go to sleep, and I realize I'll look at my phone and it'll be like at 10 or 20. I'm so lazy. I'm just like, it'll probably make it. My phone died last. Speaking of last night, my phone died in the middle of the night, so I almost missed my early duty at school this morning. Michaela woke me up at like 6:58. I had to be at school at 7:15. So this morning,
well, at least you're close.
No shower. I took.
Got the bypass.
I washed my hair under like a stream of water for a second, brushed my teeth, and ran out the door half asleep. Oh man, do you remember early duty and stuff when you were teaching?
Yeah, I didn't have to do.
Did you have to do early duty?
I did do. I think I did do it a little bit, but not too much. I didn't have to do it much. No.
So you covered.
I covered Miss Billingsley. Yeah.
You did another long-term situation too, didn't you? Or was that the only?
Yeah, I did one for Miss McClendon down there.
Yeah. I remember you were right down the hall from me forever. So do you remember Emily Emmert's room?
Yeah.
When you were there, that's my room now.
Cool.
So I'm not at the end of the hall in the big science room anymore.
Well, that's good.
I'm in Emily Emmert's old room right next to the principal's office.
ship them down there.
So so when you were there, it was John, Beth, and Jordan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got a whole new crew now. Beth's still there, but we got Dr. Murphy and Miss Maylee Wilson. So,
Cool.
man, it's like, I can
I'm sure as
remember,
admin changes, a lot of changes are made.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I can remember, like, feeling like, I still feel this way on the inside, but I'm not. I like being that young, like, rookie teacher. I still feel like I'm the young teacher, but man, I look around. I've been there longer than a lot of people.
It's crazy how fast. It is. Same way with policing.
Dude,
I look around, I'm like, man, I'm brand new.
Next year will be my 11th.
Man,
next year will be my 11th year
years.
teaching.
Crazy.
I've got kids that I had in class that are like substitute teaching. I got one across the hall from me teaching.
Do you ever have colleagues call you for questions?
You know, not a lot, no.
I think that's when it clicked for me. Like, man, I must be getting old in this job because and it's not often, but people have called me before, and it's like, wow.
Well, like,
am I supposed to know this answer?
I'm probably not. Like, as far as like knowing, like, I'm really notorious for like missing emails and stuff.
Yeah.
So like my colleagues probably aren't going to come to me if they want to know like what's going on.
Well, I just meant from like maybe like how you should do this or that in your structure, your lesson plan or something like that.
I would say in our building, I'd say Emily Emmert gets a lot of the questions.
Well, they usually like Bobby Maxwell. I've always called Bobby, right, for the most part.
And if you're going for a male, I'd say Brad Crow gets a lot of the questions.
Yeah.
He's the grizzled vet in the build. Like, I go to Brad for a lot of stuff.
Some people don't want to call those people.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I don't want them to tell people I called. I want to trust somebody that's got a little time that will be like, I ain't going to think too much about it. I get that. I was there.
Brad's one of my biggest mentors, like, since I've been in the building, since I've been in middle school. How was
Brad's
it? Like,
a great guy.
You got to play under him for a year. How was that?
Brad
Crow.
What was that?
Your senior year was his first year.
Yes, I remember that now.
He came down from Russell County.
That's when I first met Brad. Oh man, he was excellent. Yeah. Excellent. And when he said something, like, it had meaning behind it. He didn't talk a whole lot, but when he did, it had meaning behind it. Brad's a great guy. Great mentor teaching too. He taught me a lot of stuff when I was.
Did he take control of the weight room that first year when he came down?
I think he had his hand in it. I can't remember who was like in charge of the weight room.
I remember being gone, and I can't remember if they were in your class or if it was some of the younger guys even, but like talking to guys who are like, man, y'all got out of here on time. This new guy's like killing us in the weight room.
I think Brad did with Coach White. I think Coach White was still helping out with it too, because Coach White was still there. Yeah, that's.
When's the last time you caught him in a Earl County football game?
I watched him play. When was the last one? I think maybe it was. I think it was my little cousin was cheerleading. Maybe it was homecoming. It's a few years ago, I think. I need to go catch some.
Yeah, let's go catch a game one day.
Yeah, let's do that. They're supposed to have a really good team. I know Hughes boys be quarterbacking this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Excited for that.
Now, is he going to be a senior, or do you know?
He'll be a junior, I think.
Okay.
So Hughes a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We go to the gym.
Does he still do bodybuilding?
Yeah,
he was doing.
Well, he's not doing shows or not. He's still religiously in the gym. I always tell him that. I always tell everybody like that was who I looked up to when I come up in the game lifting, especially when I got to Glasgow. It's just
he was doing shows not too long ago, wasn't he?
He did a show after the age of 50, I believe, which is very impressive, and he was chiseled.
Now, was that like, did he do like an age division, or was he going against like?
I don't know what he competed in, but I remember seeing a picture of his legs. His quads were just, it looked like frog veins, like nasty. In a good way.
I remember seeing the pictures of him doing shows. Like, that's such like an art and a science. Like, at the same time. I'll tell you,
my worst leg day that I ever, and I always had leg days. Like when I was over at Tompkinsville, there was a boy. What was his name? Little, kind of tall, slender, skinny. He graduated probably like, it was while I was teaching over there. He was getting ready to graduate. Xander did, but he didn't do. I don't think
Well,
he did a
Xander
leg workout
threed.
with me, but he was around the same age as him. But anyway, there was this boy, and I can't remember his name. But he said he wanted to do legs with me one day, and I remember we were. I always did a like a pre-leg pump.
Yeah.
And then we did the leg workout. And
Yeah.
then do a post pump.
Yeah.
I got that from Seth Feroci,
Mm-hmm.
one of my all-time favorites, YouTubers, bloggers. But he did it with me, and we made it through the pre-pump, and we got to the leg press with our first movement, and he vomited during that. And I'll never forget it. He finished it. I don't know if he ever did another leg workout with me, but I was super proud of him. I said, man, that's awesome that you come back and finish.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, my leg days are pretty good. Well, I went over to Glasgow.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Hugh, the Go to Legs. I'll tell you that. We had a leg workout, and I remember I had just moved home, and Pod popped this trailer down for me over there at the end of his road, and I was living in the trailer at the time. Me and Riley just got together shortly after she had moved. I think she had already moved in with me. I backed into the driveway, and I was like, I think I can get out of the truck.
Yeah.
And it was like I was 70 years old. Like I had to slow, and it was a bad week.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way. It was a 7-day soreness, I want to say, 6 or 7.
Oh, man.
And I didn't get those much. I'd get to 3 to 4 to 5 day soreness, but I never got a 6 or 7 day soreness.
The last time, man, that's like it's been so long since I've had like a weightlifting regimen that I was sticking to. But like when I first start getting back into weightlifting, I hate legs.
Yeah.
I hate them. But like once you get back into your routine, it's one of my favorite days ever.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to get past that like hill,
Right.
The last time I did a leg day, I was sore for like a week. My thing is when I get in bad shape and then I start trying to get back into shape again, I always go into the gym like I never stopped going, and I put myself through like a workout.
Yeah.
As if I'm still like active, and then I'm sore for a week.
Right.
And I'm like, gosh, I can't.
Well, that's the problem coming back. You got to ease into it.
Yeah.
Because if you try to go back to that workout you were doing at the end before you quit, you're not going to last.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to come back that next week.
And that's where I always mess up. Every time I quit going to the gym, when I come back, like, it's just like a mental thing. I just go in there like I never stopped.
But you know how it works. It's like, I tell these people all the time, it's like, just be consistent. Consistency is the key in life.
Oh, walking in the door is half the battle.
If you showing up is the hardest part. But if you say, I don't feel good today, I'm gonna skip today. I'll go back tomorrow. I think I'll go back the next day.
Yeah.
Before you know, it's been a week, and then it's been 2 weeks, then it's been a month, and that's the easiest thing to do. And I can honestly, besides my knee surgery, I can honestly say that besides that one, and I fractured my rib my first year in jiu-jitsu. Besides, I think it was I had to miss the gym for a week and a half or 2 weeks on my fractured rib. I had to go back and do something. And then my knee, I couldn't do legs for, I think, 2 weeks. I started to go back in 3 weeks, going back into leg extension, leg curls. I never missed a body part for all the last 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And that's something that
a
lot of people can't say. So I'm proud of that. I am very proud of that.
So are you able to lift like right now?
So I can only, with my leg, all I can do is because they wanted me to do this for like physical therapy purposes. You're supposed to get on that bike. I got on the bike 3 days after surgery, which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I want to get that range of motion going. Yeah. And then they said, I went to the doctor for my follow-up 2 weeks after. It's been 7 weeks now. And they said, go ahead and start implementing leg curls, leg extension, very light, high volume, just very light.
Yeah. So
I started doing that, and then he said slowly start implementing leg presses, but I haven't done any squats. Like,
where's your doctor? Where did you?
Dr. Helsley did my my knee surgery.
Is that like local?
March the 13th. He did it.
Where's that at?
Bowling Green.
Okay.
He's the WKU ortho.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty.
He's a legit.
Yeah, sounds
very
legit,
good guy too. Yeah. Now I appreciate him.
Yeah.
But the PA is who I would kind of talk to when I was in and out after came up there for one appointment. He told me like you're making good progress where you've got that leg density and stuff. You shouldn't have too back, but it's been rough, man. Like I'm ready to get back to work.
Oh, I'm sure. All right, our next one says kids should still have to learn to write in cursive.
Yes,
I agree.
Telling someone to sign their name, and they said, I don't know how.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
or filling out a check and they can't write like 100 and whatever.
You know how many like young adults I know that can't sign their name in cursive?
Yep. Or they just little scribbles.
Yeah. Like, dude, anybody can fake your signature if you print it.
Right. I'd love to see some of these professional athletes now signing stuff. I'd love to see what their signatures look like.
Oh, yeah, like an autographed baseball card in 20 years is going to look like a kindergartner did it.
Yeah, just a couple letters.
Yeah. A lot of them probably just do initials or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is something that should be implemented. I remember we did that in elementary, and we worked hard at it.
All right, this next one says Walmart after 10 p.m. is a different universe.
It is. After 10 p.m., if I'm outside my house, like if I'm somewhere, something's wrong. Like there's like somebody sick going to the hospital or something, because I can't imagine myself going to
you ever
Walmart.
went in Walmart after 10 p.m.?
When I was younger, maybe. Maybe like Black Friday shopping and stuff.
Oh, I'm talking about like just a run of the mill, like Tuesday, 10:30 at Walmart.
No, that's not.
You don't.
That's not being organized on Sunday with your grocery shop,
dude. You don't know what you're gonna run into at 10 p.m.
Oh, I'm sure
in Walmart. A lot of the times you'll see like, oh man, guys like much older than me like raiding the Pokemon cards. That's a big thing right now.
Wow.
Have you seen? So
anything? Pokemon's back at it, huh?
Well, like, dude, it's so like if you go in Walmart or like Target or like your big retailers and you see the Pokemon cards, a lot of the stores now are putting like limits on what you're allowed to buy per person. Because what's happening now is you got guys like me and you or even older are going in when they restock the Pokemon cards, they're buying all of them, and then they're like bootlegging them.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're jacking the price. I guess it's like supply and demand, they know.
That's crazy.
So they're like these kids now that like Pokemon cards are like having to pay.
You know, I remember slightly getting into Pokemon when I was in like elementary with the Sheffield, maybe the Sheffield Twins, maybe. Because that's who I grew up with.
Dude, it's crazy right now.
But I just don't remember getting too involved. Jet likes Pokemon
There's
cards.
a lot of money in Pokemon right now.
Wow.
Yeah, like I've kind of, in the past like couple years, I've started dabbling like in like, I don't do the Pokemon myself right now, but like I do like NFL and NBA cards and like resell them and stuff. A lot of money in it right now. Now Asher, my son, he likes Pokemon. I guess it was 2 years ago. I found like my old Pokemon card collection, like in the big binder from like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I sold like maybe 20 Pokemon cards for like over $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, people are buying them. Like
that's crazy. That's a market.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. If you rewatch a movie more than 5 times, you're weird.
No. I can remember a movie I watched more than 5 times.
What was
it? Lawless. That is a phenomenal
movie. That's
movie.
a good movie. That's got
Shia LaBeouf,
Hardy in it. Tom
Hardy.
Yeah, dude, he's so good.
The Tom Hardy scene outside of the little bootlegging basement.
Yeah,
when he pops that dude with the brass knuckles. That's a sick scene.
I'll tell you another one I liked, Casino. You ever seen Casino? It's
I think I've seen
Scorsese. That. What's his name? Martin Scorsese or Matt Scorsese? I don't know how to say his name. I'm butchering it.
No, I'll have to watch that one.
It's got like the scene where what's his name? Little actor. He plays in like a lot of mob movies. He's like Italian, and he's like, this dude had like done him wrong or whatever, and he's got like the scene where he's like, and if you do that to me again, I'm gonna crack your skull. He's like, I'm leaving some words out.
Right.
And he's like, and when I go to jail, by the time I get out of prison, you'll probably be waking up from your coma then, and then I'm going to crack your skull again. And he's like, jail doesn't bother me.
There's a couple other movies. Taken One. That's a really good movie.
Remember the Titans.
I'll tell you another good movie is John Wick 1.
Oh, dude, I love John Wick movies.
I loved it.
They're all pretty good.
They're all good.
The first one, though.
But the first one, I know the second or third one has the most kills. I think it's the third one or something. Has the most like kills in it. But that first movie, the storyline of it is just awesome to me.
Oh, should have left his dog alone.
Should have just left his dog alone at that gas station.
And I feel like most men can relate to that.
Or should have left him alone after the gas station.
feel like most men can relate to that. Like, man, don't mess with my dog.
Yep. My dog or my family. Yeah. For sure.
All right. Let's see what we got here. People who clap in the movie theater need help.
Yeah, that's too much. You're laughing, that's okay, but when you're clapping, like a
dude, it's like
a Kevin Hart clap in the movie theater.
Yeah, like dude, they can't hear you.
What do you call it? The old white man laugh.
Yeah. Dude, Kevin Hart. Did you see where they're gonna roast him? You ever watch like the roast?
I've seen the Tom Brady clips. Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Where that chick gets up,
So
I can't remember her name, but
Kevin Hart's got a roast coming out May 26th, I think. It's supposed to be like bigger than the Tom Brady one. That's what they're saying.
Cool.
So I can't
check
wait.
that out.
Do you ever watch? Do you like stand up comedy?
I like stand up.
You ever watch Kill Tony?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
seen.
Watch that. It's a live podcast, but it's got who Tony Hinchcliffe is.
No, if I've seen his face, I might. I've seen clips of here and there of different ones. I don't even keep up with their names.
So what Kill Tony? It's a live podcast. They film it in Austin, Texas, like at Joe Rogan's comedy club.
Yeah.
So they film it live, and everybody like in the area can go sign up for the show. You put your name on a piece of paper, and you throw it in a bucket. So during the show, Tony will draw a name out of the bucket, and if he pulls your name, you get 60 seconds of stand-up. Like, you get a 60-second set.
Oh, wow.
So you go up there. A lot of guys that go, or a lot of people that go on there are absolutely terrible. But it's hilarious when they're bad, too.
Yeah.
So if they're really good, it's funny.
Right.
And if they're really, really bad, it's funny, too. So after you do your 60-second set, you have to stay on the stage, and he interviews you like it's a podcast. So, dude, you got to watch it. They come to Nashville sometimes, too.
So do you know my Uncle Kerry?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how he's really he does like little nuances that are a little different, like funny, that like people aren't used to, because it's the Army in him.
Yeah,
right? He's like born and bred Army, like totally, like it's all he knows. Well, just recently we were at my brother's wedding up in Jacksonville. We were on vacation down there, and we went and stopped at this gas station. It was me, Dad, Kerry, similar to clapping in the movie.
Yeah.
So we walk in the bathroom, and I walk in first, and I finish using the bathroom, washing my hands, and there's this guy that you can tell is rough house. Like, you can tell he's having weekend all week long, that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he's looking rough going to work. He looked like a construction worker or something. And he's drying his hands. He just washed his hands, and my uncle goes in there, Kerry, to use the bathroom. He starts singing some crazy song, like out loud. It's like 7 a.m. in the morning, And this guy's like, what the heck? But he says something else, like pretty loud. I'm like, Kerry had to have heard that, but I'm sure his hearing, he probably just didn't hear him. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like, I'm going to get out of here before Kerry gets right with this guy, because my Uncle Kerry, he could get right with you, or used to. So I go outside, I'm cracking up. And Dad's like, what's going on? I told Dad. Yeah. Well, Kerry comes out like nothing ever happened, and I was like, that guy in there was laughing at you, or he said, told him what he said when he was in there singing, and he made a comment about he looked like a week long weekenders. He said he didn't care, but I thought that was hilarious. That's one of them times where it's kind of nuanced. It's something that's not normal,
I like putting somebody like in a social situation,
making it awkward.
Yeah. Oh, I've got buddies like that. Jake Dewberry.
Yeah, Jacob Dewberry.
Yeah, dude, he's one of the best.
Oh yeah,
putting somebody in an awkward situation.
No, Jake Dewberry is awesome. I haven't talked to him in probably 6 months or more. I need to give him a call.
He and I had started going to the gym again about 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
we were both getting in pretty good shape again, and then just life happened. We quit, and now
he had asked me to play golf there. We were going to go play golf one day.
He still plays golf quite a bit, I think.
It was last summer, I guess, about a year ago. But yeah, I miss it.
Oh yeah, I still see Jake quite a bit. Of course, he's married to Michaela's cousin, Ashley. So
they're building a house. They done yet?
Beautiful
place.
That's a gorgeous looking house.
A lot of glass.
He did a lot of the work himself, I think.
Yeah.
He just
that's what he told me. He was doing a lot of it. Not
have you seen any of the inside of the house?
No, I've just seen the outside. It's gorgeous.
He sent me a picture of they put a fireplace in and like real masonry, like stonework on the fireplace.
Wow.
And it goes to the ceiling.
Well, he's a cabinet man, so I'm sure he's got
the
ability to do it all.
I would have been terrified, like climbing that. Like he had the scaffolding up to do like the fireplace. No, I couldn't have done it.
Stuff. That'd be a lot of work.
Oh yeah. But let's see, where did we get to? What was the last one?
The movie theater.
Yeah. College was better than high school.
Yeah, I would say yeah. Man, we had a lot of fun at Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Our little room was interesting. We had a lot of different personalities.
Yeah.
Foot really kept it.
Yeah.
Foot's kind of like that.
He was like the dad of the house.
Yeah, he was like the dad. And then what was the dude on your side? What was the other guy?
Well, you remember we went through some roommates.
Yeah, we went through some roommates. I can't remember all of them.
We had Bear. Owen Hubbard.
Hubbard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen him a couple years ago.
Tyler Welch was in our room too, but he like wasn't ever there.
Yeah.
He stayed on campus, but he stayed like.
I enjoyed
Chelsea, like around Chelsea a lot too.
I enjoyed Lindsay a lot because it wasn't like a party school. It was
Who
like
else was our roommate
very
that
structured.
year?
It was like a structured
Yeah.
I wish I'd have stayed there the whole time because it was very structured.
It was that first taste of freedom for me.
Yeah,
it was like,
a lot of freedom.
I remember like going home in the summer, and like I didn't like going home because it's like now I'm back to like somebody's telling me what to do and asking me where I'm at. It's like, who was it? Like we had you, me, Jordan. Bear replaced somebody.
I can't
Dylan
remember.
Clark. DC.
Yeah, Dylan Clark. That's
and
who
then,
it was.
you remember James Todd?
I don't remember James Todd.
He was our roommate at the start of the year. I'm not going to say his last name because in case he watches us by some chance.
I can't remember.
His name was James Todd. He was in the band.
He didn't talk to us much, did he?
No.
We never saw him much.
No, he ended up like.
I do remember that now.
He ended up like requesting to like leave our room, I think.
Well, probably because we had a lot of owls that stayed up late. Because I remember one night, like I was trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I like to go to bed early. Yeah. What was that one guy's name that come in there fooling with me at night?
Hunter Scroggy's in there a lot.
It was probably Hunter, or there was another guy.
Lincoln Bell come in there a lot.
No, it was Hunter that was messing with me that night, I believe. He was messing with me. He got me pretty aggravated because I was trying to go to sleep.
Do you remember, there was two jokes I remember playing on you pretty vividly. There was one night, I don't know how we did this without waking you up, but you and Jordan shared that side of the room together. And you had went to sleep, and we had
bunks. I was on top, wasn't I?
Well, at this point in time, y'all hadn't bunked them yet. Y'all were sleeping in the middle of the night. Me and Hunter and Bear and Lincoln like moved your beds
while we were sleeping.
Pushed them together.
That don't surprise me.
We pushed them together while y'all were asleep, and you woke up and you're like side by side.
I really don't remember doing it, waking up to that.
I remember that, and I remember we flipped your bed upside down one time so that when you jumped on it, the mattress would hit the floor. You remember those old like dorm beds that kind of hooked in?
Yeah.
And we flipped it upside down.
So it'd fall in?
So like, because you used to come in, you'd jump on your bed every day when you'd come in, and we were picturing you come in, throw your bag in the floor, and you'd jump on the bed and it hit the ground. I remember this very vividly. So you come in, the plan goes exactly like we drew it up. You jump on the bed, nothing happens.
Was it delayed?
Well, no, it never fell. So then I'm laying in my bed in the other room in the middle of the night, 2:30, 3 in the morning. I hear a big, and I hear you going, "What in the world?" Your bed had fallen in the middle of the night.
I do remember that. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember.
I just remember you guys were y'all like to stay up late, and I was early, and I had to go to weightlifting and all that stuff in the mornings that year.
I can't remember if you were part of it, but I had done something like that to somebody, and the way they got me back was I was using the bathroom. Of course, you remember we had like the two separate bathrooms.
2 bathrooms.
One had the toilet, one had the shower and stuff. I was using the bathroom, and like I would always get on y'all's nerves because I'd stay in there for a while, like play it on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went to leave the bathroom, and I couldn't open the door. Y'all had like pushed all the dressers in front of the bathroom door, and I couldn't get out. And y'all left me in there like 45 minutes.
Good times.
Oh, I've still got videos on like. There's an iPod Touch in the gym. Do you remember the iPod Touches?
No, not really.
It was like an iPhone, but it's just it was an iPhone, but you couldn't call on it.
Oh, okay.
I've got videos of you and me and Hunter and Chris Young and Lincoln and Bear. We were in the dorm and we were sumo wrestling. Do you remember that at all?
Not really.
I don't remember doing it, but I have the videos.
Dude, I can't remember nothing.
So we had the way we had set it up in the video was you had the bathrooms that were across from each other in that little commons area, and each person.
Oh, we had it cleared out.
We would
cleared
start.
The middle out.
So like you would start in that bathroom door, and I would start in that one, and you'd try to push the guy into the other door.
I think I remember that vaguely. Yes.
I'll have to send you that video when I get a chance.
I don't think I would have been doing that with Jordan though.
No, it was
he
you.
had me outweighed pretty good.
I can't remember if it was you.
And he was a lineman, so.
Chris, either you or Chris was going with Jordan and he fell on him. I can't remember. I think it was Chris went with Jordan and Jordan just fell on him.
I remember y'all just give me crap because I was a Louisville fan. So.
I remember that too. You had that big Louisville flag behind your bed.
Yep. Still got that thing. That thing flew a lot of places.
Yeah.
That thing flew with me the Army and back. Riley made me take it down, I believe, when
really?
I first
Is she
played.
not a Louisville fan?
No, it was just tacky.
Does she root for anybody?
So it's funny, man. Our house is like she's like 50-50. Like she's more like 60-40. She's still a Cats fan, but she'll root for Louisville because Jet. But I'm telling you, Jet is just like me. Like he's diehard card. He can't help it. When they played Kentucky this year, like he really got into that game. And he also, I have to say, anytime Kentucky plays anybody, like he's rooting against them.
Yeah.
And they played Tennessee this year.
Oh,
and you remember the Tennessee shot? They shot from half court and it rimmed out. Riley said that he got so upset when that ball, he thought it went in.
Really?
And he got mad. And I was like, yeah, that's my boy. I guess he learned that from somebody.
You like Kelsey pretty good.
I do like Kelsey. We got a really good portal going right now.
Oh,
I think we're number one right now in the off-season portal. We got a guy from, let's see, Oregon. Mm-hmm. We got a 6'10" forward.
Y'all just beat us out of a guy. What was his name?
Yeah, I'd have to look on my
Gabe
phone.
Dines or something.
I'll
like
pay
that.
more attention to names when
the
actual season starts, or gets closer. But man, I tell you, this year was rough, and Michael Brown Jr. That was tough. I mean, Conwell did everything he could against Michigan State to keep that game tight. Mm-hmm. He played an excellent season. Conwell's a dog. I'd love to. I wish we had him another year.
But
he was not a point guard. Yeah. That's what killed our whole team. He was having to play point guard.
Yeah.
We didn't have anybody off the dribble. Playing shooting guard. We had nobody off the dribble. And then we had no big men. Yeah. Our big men played like guards.
Kentucky went through a lot of that this year too. We just didn't handle it as well as y'all did.
Well, we were very similar teams.
Yeah.
And that game that we played this year could have went either way. We just got hot. I think we hit 14 threes that game.
I like Kelsey 13. Though. I would take Kelsey at Kentucky right now.
Yeah, I like. I don't mind Pope either. I think he's a.
It's so weird seeing two like at Kentucky.
They get along well.
Like they're
It's not really a rivalry.
Yeah. It's like you see them in interviews. Like reporters try to get them to like pick at each other, and they won't do it.
No, they're both excellent characters.
Yeah. Kelsey came from Xavier. Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah, small schools.
Y'all. I mean, if he can coach as well as he can recruit, y'all got a good year coming up.
Yeah, I just hope that I wish we could move. I don't like to die by the three, man. I wanna get some like Michigan, man.
Yeah.
Michigan they had a roster this year. That team was in every aspect of basketball. They had big men. They could shoot the three. Yeah. But they were so big.
Pope came into Kentucky saying we're gonna live and die by the three, and then we died by it this year.
Yeah. Well, we didn't press enough. You know, if you're going to live and die by the three, you also have to have a press. And Siva was running the press.
Yeah.
and it just wasn't operating well. I don't think that Kelsey really likes the press too much. He likes that half court, defense, and I don't know. I feel like if you're going to play that style basketball, like Pitino, that's what Pitino played. But you got to play the press. You got to press them hard.
I love Pitino, man. I would take him back at Kentucky.
But I just don't understand how a player at that age, like Mikael Brown Jr., how you can't tough out a couple games in the tournament. Just play. Just play.
Yeah. You're never going to get that moment back.
No. And I still don't think if he knew it was going to hurt his draft, that I still don't think he'd play.
What do you think about this new rule that they're voting on?
What is the new rule?
5 years for 5 years.
What's the consist of? I haven't heard about it.
They're voting on like players getting 5 years of eligibility now.
No.
So it's like
this
is all right. Let me try to explain it in the way that I'm understanding it, and if I've understood it wrong, somebody in the comments will correct me. Instead of like you getting like the medical red shirt, the waiver red shirt, like a regular red shirt, like I think it's like doing away with red shirts. Instead of all that and seeing guys play 7 or 8 years, you have 5 years to play 5 years, no matter what. I think that's how they're doing it.
Yeah, I just don't like this. I don't
like it either.
And you're going to see it in high school too.
Let me tell you.
It's already happening. It's here. Mm-hmm. The players are going where they fit best.
Yeah.
There's going to be an
It's even happening like at this level in our region.
And there'll be no more tradition, right? Mm-hmm. So there'll be power teams, super teams, right? Yeah. Hey, this team's got an AAU coach and a player, their son or daughter. Yeah. And, hey, this team plays on our travel ball team. Let's get him over here. Yeah. Before you know it, you got a full roster of an AAU team. Kind of like there was a team close by that did that, which is fine. There's nothing – it's not illegal. But the problem is it kind of is illegal because they're doing it in a way that you have to have a place of residency after – if I understand correctly, once you're in high school – if you do it before high school, you don't have to have a legitimate reason of why you're switching schools, but you have to have a reason, and you also have to have a place that you're, residing at in that district. But
when you catch yourself doing that, my question is like, especially as a high school coach that's doing all this recruiting,
right?
Who are you in it for? Are you in it for the kids, or are you in it for you?
You're in it for championships.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, at what point does coaching become about you and your legacy versus like I'm in this for the kids and what's better for the kid? Like,
and I'm not going to say it's bad or malicious. Mm-hmm. It's just what we're at. It's where we're at. If you want to win ball games, you got to. It's just like Calipari, right? He's going to have to adapt to this now. He can't get freshmen anymore. He's going to have to get players that's almost played in the league, and play those players now. Bring those guys in instead of getting freshmen.
Well, I'll tell you who else this is, like the college landscape, who this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Look at your guys, like
Pitino. He was really good at building players from a freshman to senior.
Yeah.
Making good players. Now you only get them for 1 year and they're gone. I couldn't believe that the Louisville running backs are coming back this year. Kewan Brown and Isaac Brown are coming back. And I mean, that's unheard of. Both of them.
Yeah.
And I'm tickled to death because Isaac Brown, in my opinion, is top 3 running back in the league or in college football this year.
And then you look at like the guys that are playing like 6 and 7 years in college basketball. That's killing look at your 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, I know I didn't play college football, but I started to. Guys like me that were going to sign to like an NAIA school and be a depth piece, those guys are going to get left behind.
Right.
Because your NAIA is going to catch guys funneling down from D1
Yeah.
that got knocked out of a spot because this coach is waiting on the 25 and 26-year-old to make a decision.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're a D1 coach, you're going to take the 25-year-old vet over some 18-year-old out of high school or some 19 or 20-year-old.
But I'm not going to say it's anybody doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
they're just doing they're trying to win. They're trying to win. But the traditional, you're from Monroe County, you're from Metcalfe County, you're from Barron County, like that's not a thing anymore. Now it's going to be, hey, where can my kid go to be the best, or where can I get a kid that make us the best?
Yeah, you already.
We need a good fit. So. to each their own, and that's just the way it is.
All right. If you type LOL in a text message and you didn't crack a smile, you're insane.
Man, it gets on my nerve. It gets on my nerves that I do that. Like, it's almost like you don't know what to say, but you want to respond.
LOL,
or you'll just say LOL. Yeah.
LOL's like a.
It's kind of like
a filler.
Yeah, filler. Yeah.
Like you're just. I send it a lot when I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Even if it's not something funny, just like LOL. Yeah. Or LOL. No. Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely just something that I think people got a habit of, and I don't think it really means anything. I don't think it has a meaning.
I've got a buddy that, like, when I send it, he's always like, he'll send like, "Did you really laugh at that? Or are you lying to me?"
I ain't never had anybody call me out on it.
Oh man. Well, we're nearing like 7:20. So what I'll do is I've always ended the show with like a couple top 5 lists. You got time to do a couple top 5 lists?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this one's been recurring. I want to get your take on it. Top 5 Monroe County football teams all time.
Man, it's tough. That's
so
really tough.
I gave my list. Well, I say Jackson gave a list on Ben's podcast. Michaela's give his list. Who else? We've had, like, there's several top 5 lists floating around.
And I'm gonna tell you what's real difficult in that one is differentiating between your junior year and your sophomore year. Mm-hmm. That's tough right there.
Yeah.
Or not your sophomore year, your senior year and your junior year.
I know what you meant.
That sophomore year was a rough year, but it was a good building year for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
We had we didn't have many seniors. Let's see. Well, with this being said, the top 3 is obviously between the 3 regional champions, the semi-state teams.
We had 4 region championship teams in school history. So you got your dad's team, the 89 team.
Yeah.
You got 08, 09, and then you got 12.
Okay, I was gone.
Yeah.
During that. Well, that was in the time that
12 would have been Chad Wilson, Jacob Hodges.
Okay, Lincoln. Was Lincoln?
Nah, Lincoln would have been on the roster. I don't think he
was young then, freshman or sophomore?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know much about that team.
Yeah.
Kudos to them. I was kind of out of the picture then from high school football. I really didn't know that. So that's a fun fact for me.
They went to Louisville Central. They had the lead for a little while.
And I may have heard about. I didn't know that they had won region.
Louisville Central was like on a 3-year tear, winning state. We were 3A at the time.
But Lincoln's year was pretty good too, right?
I think they made it. I think they made it 2 region. I may be wrong. I think they made it 2 region. Maybe.
All right, so I don't know that team. So I'm gonna put them at 4 just because I don't know. Now the 5, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to go back to that. So 3. I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put your junior year. I'm gonna put your senior year at 3.
Okay. So 4, you've got 12.
I think we had some extra weapons on that junior year team that made that team a little bit better, and especially defensively too. Like you had McHale.
Yeah.
Well, there's several names. I don't want to get into naming names. I mean, there's all kinds of people. That's just the first. I see McHale all the time, and he's been on here recently. And then so that's 2 would be your senior year. And then I would say number 1. I'm gonna put Dad's team at number 1 just because of the athletes they had, man. Like,
so let me get. So number 1, you've got the 89 team.
I'm gonna put the 89 team, even though I didn't get to watch a whole lot about them.
At number 2, you put my senior year.
Your senior year.
Then 3, you got 08. So you got 89, 09, 08, and 12.
No, flip that. Sorry, 2 will be your.
2 is my junior. So you got So you got 89. 08, 09, 12.
With that being said, 2 and 3 could be vice versa.
Yeah, there's a lot of that one. I think the 08 versus 09 gets like the most debate.
And just because I don't know any other teams, I'm gonna be biased and put my senior year somewhere in the mix, 5 through 10. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
a difficult one.
Y'all went to region.
We went to region. Whatever. We had a good team, a lot of heart. We could have had
Yep.
some more players in some positions. We were lacking in a few, but man, for what we had, we did really well.
Yeah, I had a good year that year. It's
And
fun.
really, the worst game of the year we played was against was our regional championship against Danville. That was a
Danville.
really bad game. We played that game. We could have played them a lot tighter.
Y'all were y'all up 1 at half or down 1?
We were, I believe it was 21-20. I believe we were down 1 halftime.
Okay. I was at the game. I remember.
But the second half went
I
south.
remember
quick,
being a 1-point
quickly.
game.
Yeah, but that was a good year. That was a total loss of a year. We had a good year that
We
year.
had a good run. Like Monroe had a solid from I'm gonna go back to 06. The 06 year, Dr. Murphy, Billy Joe Murphy, and them senior year.
Oh
We-
yeah, I
we
forgot
beat-
about that.
We beat
team.
Owensboro Catholic.
Yeah,
And then we won district. That was the first time we won district in I don't know how long. And a lot of guys' season ended too early in that first round of the playoffs. We got Glasgow to end the year.
yeah.
We beat Glasgow by like 30 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had to play Glasgow immediately, back to back, first round of the playoffs. Before you got to high school, you played your own district in the playoffs. So like the first couple rounds of the playoffs was like your district games.
Wow, yeah.
I think that changed. We did that when you were a freshman too, because our season ended against Greene County.
Let's talk about that game.
Which game?
I'm gonna tell you what I remember about that game.
Your
My
freshman year?
Let me tell you what I remember about that game. I remember being on the field, nothing but fog. No other team is on the field. All right. And this was my first memory of Greene County, if I recall correctly. We're like, where's Greene County? Who we playing? We're on the sideline. Warm-ups are over. Like, it's about go time. The clock's almost to zero. Nobody's there. And all of a sudden, I see this Army walking
On
across
top of the
top of the hill.
Yep.
And I'll never forget that. A lot of things I've forgotten in life, I'll never forget that. And they just slow walked all the way down.
Yep.
And just absolutely just demolished. That was a good
And
team.
they do that on purpose too. That's like a psych job.
It worked for me. I'll tell you that. That was pretty solid.
And how about that team going and getting beat in the playoffs?
I don't know how they did that year.
They got beat by Metcalf in the second round of the playoffs.
Was De Leon playing then, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have had De Leon, Will Wharf. One of their running backs' last name was White, I think. Metcalf was loaded that year.
Yeah. Wow, I just remember that game, and I'll never forget that. Just that walkout. That was crazy. Super intimidating.
Where was your favorite place to play outside of Monroe? Like not.
Well, it definitely wasn't there. I hated that
Really?
field. I didn't like that field. My favorite place that we played, I'm trying to think real hard here.
Greene County was probably my favorite place to play, just because of the valley. Like it always reminded me of like Gettysburg almost.
No, it was a cool field. I'll say it was a cool field. Let me think though. Where else did I like to play? I'll tell you where I thought a cool place to play was when we didn't play them when we got, but I remember playing there as a freshman, or like being there. I thought the Greenwood field was pretty cool. I thought that was a cool field to play on. And it almost felt
probably
like
played some JV games there.
Yeah, I like that field. I'm trying to think. We played a lot of teams.
I'll tell you somewhere I never got to play, but I always wanted to play was Russellville.
Okay, I don't know if
You
I've
ever
ever
been
been to
there?
their field.
We scrimmaged them. Like I was on the team, but we had a varsity scrimmage there my freshman year. And they've got like the big stone wall around the field, and then the corner of one of the end zones is like a slope. I don't know of any other field in the state is like that, or in America for that matter, but like that one corner of the end zone is like a 45-degree slope.
You know, thinking back, that may be a top 3 for me too. I just had some bad memories of Greene County. That was one of the bad memories that I remember, which I wasn't playing then. I was a freshman. But yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I always played the worst at Barron County.
Really?
Every game, my worst games I remember. I liked playing at Metcalf County. There were certain fields that I just had more confidence on. I liked that Logan County. We played at Logan County one year.
I don't
remember
know.
that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty cool.
I think it was after I graduated, though. I think it was your senior year, maybe.
Maybe it was.
because we played Logan at home my junior year.
I think that was the best catch I ever made. Was
Now, I
against
don't
Logan
know.
County.
I don't know if you're going to remember this or not. I threw the only pass I ever threw.
I do remember you throwing a pass. Where
after
was that
It
at?
was to you. It was at Barron County.
Barron County.
Was it a
two?
game?
Was it a?
I can't remember. Was it a touchdown?
Was it a halfback pass?
It was a double. It was a reverse.
Reverse pass.
It was a reverse.
So you were flanker and I was split in or something.
It was to you. I can't.
I remember you throwing a
it
pass.
It was either for a touchdown or a two-point conversion. I can't remember.
I think I ran a flag pattern, and I think it was a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I think.
So Rusty Hawkins drew the play.
I remember
up.
Rusty coaching.
He like drew
JV,
it up
calling
in the
plays.
dirt. He drew it up like in the dirt, either at halftime or like right before the play. But I get the handoff, or maybe they pitched it to me, and I clear the end, and I could have walked it into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
But you're wide open, so I threw it. And I get to the sideline, and Rusty's like, you could have walked it in. Why didn't you just walk it in? And I said, Coach, I'm never going to get to throw the ball again. Like, I was throwing that no matter what.
I think it was my sophomore year. I was still getting some JV time because I didn't start until my junior year. My sophomore year, Coach Pettit was on the sideline. We were playing Glasgow at home. And I'll never forget this because this hurt real bad. Mm-hmm. I was punt return. I was the punt return for some reason. I ran like a 4.7.
Are you talking about the time you should have called fair catch?
Yeah. You remember that? Yeah. So I look up. Nobody's around. Well, this ball has some hang time. So I look back up, and I'm like, man, this is taking forever. About the time I catch it, like two of them pick me up and slam me. I
can still see it.
Don't even know how I held on to the ball. I have no idea. I just pinned it to my chest, and it must have pinned between me and them. I remember Coach Pettit goes, "You're an idiot." That was the dumbest.
I can still see that. I still remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah. The hardest hit.
It was near the 50-yard line.
The hardest hit I ever took at receiver was in the Kentucky-Tennessee Border Bowl game. Practice. It was cold as crap. We were in Cumberlands or whatever. And I ran a dig route on the far side. We were just practicing.
Yeah.
They didn't even throw the ball to me. They threw it to the other side on the dig route on the other side. We were running a double dig route.
Yeah.
I do a dig route. I'm about to run back to the huddle, and this linebacker, huge, plows me blindside, almost like a crackback.
Yeah.
For no reason. And I remember laying on the ground like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like for a minute, like I was like, it felt like I got rear naked strangle, and I just came back. Like I went out, and I come back, and I saw stars for several minutes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow. But I have no idea to this day why he hit me. We're on the same team. It wasn't even the game.
Did they say anything to him?
No.
Nothing was said to him?
No, I just kind of got up. He didn't even look at me. Like, I guess the guy didn't like me or something. I don't know. I never said anything to the guy.
That sounds like something Neil Wilson would do to me in practice.
But anyway, I do remember that.
No, I remember, dude, the fair catch. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I remember like.
It's the dumbest thing I ever did in football, probably.
Did you know what a fair catch was at the time?
Oh, I knew what a fair catch was. I thought that when I looked up, there was nobody around.
I remember watching
But I underestimated, I didn't check again. It was so much hang time on the ball. It was a high punt, and it was kind of short, so I had to come up and get it. And I just never re-looked.
I can remember watching the ball. I don't know why I remember this, but I remember it. And I remember thinking, well, maybe I missed him wave his hand.
So
I was like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way he didn't call fair catch. I'm like, maybe I just wasn't looking.
So the old story with my dad was, he was a punt returner, very good too. And what he would do was, I've always been told, he would let the ball bounce. Mm-hmm. And there would be people all around him, and he would grab the ball up and just take off. Everybody was expecting him to just let it go. And he'd get it last minute, split defenders, And maybe I thought I was going to do something like that. I don't know. But it turns out I wasn't like Casey's.
I remember you held on to the ball, though.
Yeah, I guess that's a positive note to a dumb moment. But
I remember I remember we had a lot of fun memories playing JV.
Oh, yeah.
We had a good little JV team.
We did have a good JV team.
We beat Warren Central.
Yep. I don't remember who all we played. I remember playing that Glasgow team.
Because you remember, we were still in a conference. Our JV was in a conference at the time. We were in like a conference with like Glasgow, Warren East, Warren Central, not Drake's Creek, but Greenwood.
Yeah.
And I remember we were one game away from getting to play in the conference championship. We got beat by Greenwood at the end of the year.
I remember playing Greenwood.
I remember my very last play.
That was at Greenwood.
I remember.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. What's his name? He was in your class, Roca.
Jason.
He had like a coming out party that game. Somebody got hurt, and Roca played like fullback for a lot of that game.
He was a stud. Roca
it was
stud.
like too little, too late.
Yeah.
We were already beat to death, but he rushed.
Jason was a good basketball
he
player
rushed
too.
for like an ungodly amount of yards that game.
He's an athlete. Not many people talk about.
I remember my last JV play, and I remember Randy Knuckles ripping me all the way to the bus. Because we were playing Greenwood, my last JV game, and they had beat us by like 40. And for some reason, at the end of the game, they were punting the ball. Instead of like letting the clock, I don't know if they had like a guy they needed to get some reps in punting the ball or what, but they were punting the ball to us. No reason to punt it. The clock could have ran out. They could have just just ended the game. And I was on the end, like playing like edge rusher, D end on the punt team. And I had made my mind up before like we even lined up. I'm like, I'm hitting this guy. Like I'm killing him no matter what. So like they snap the ball, punter gets the ball, punts off. You could have probably counted 3 Mississippi seconds, and I killed him. The ref throws the flag. Randy
you can't do that.
ripped me because in my head I'm like, it's my last JV game. We're gonna play. What are they gonna do? Ban me?
Me from JV.
Throw me out of the game? So
what was the worst name Coach Pettit ever called you?
Oh gosh, that's a long list.
I've got the name.
I don't remember him calling me a name specifically, but I remember one time he like blew his whistle and stopped practice. And like called a bunch. I don't know if he stopped like the whole practice, but at least like everybody in our drill. I'd missed a tackle. We were doing run skelly.
Yeah.
And I'd like missed a tackle, or I'd missed a couple tackles, I guess. And he called everybody in, and he like, so we all take a knee, and he's like, just want to let everybody know. It's like he was like, just want to let everybody know this Saturday at 4:00 you come over to Daryl Carter Stadium. We'll have hot dogs, shoulder, barbecue, all the stuff together. T-Mac over here is going to host. He said T-Mac over here is going to be on the 50-yard line doing a how to miss a tackle clinic, how to miss a tackle 101 or something like that. Like, you know how he get everybody going, believing this big story. And then just roasted me in front of everybody.
Yep, mine was prima donna.
I remember that.
He said, if we don't have our gloves, if we don't have this and that, just a bunch of prima donnas out here.
I remember that.
Yeah. We got to have our towels and our gloves. Can't even catch a ball.
Who was it? There was somebody.
It was Franklin Simpson when he said that at home. I remember. There
was somebody that he told one time that they hadn't been worth a dime since they started combing their hair. He said, told somebody they hadn't been worth a dime since they started parting their hair to the side.
I know one I probably shouldn't say. It's not a cuss word or nothing. But I remember him one time talking about not being able to catch the clap at Tijuana.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He'd say, feel that breeze off the lake. But I still use that at middle school.
Yeah.
I say that.
Yeah, you're on that little field out there, yeah.
He had a bunch of good
times.
ones.
No, he's full of that.
Do you remember him dislocating his knee?
I do remember him. I remember him hurting his knee. Was it practice?
Yeah, it was practice. Jackson done something, and he went to kick a ball at him, and he threw his knee out. He had to coach the rest of practice in a chair.
Good times, man.
Oh, when's the last time you saw Coach Pettit?
Oh, I talked to John often.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't talk to him all the time, but I talk to him pretty often.
Yeah.
I try to stay in contact with him.
Man, he's still
I seen him at the golf course. Jet was practicing chipping and putting. I seen him out there a couple weeks ago.
You feel like he's lightened up on the players much?
I don't know. I haven't been around it enough to.
I don't. I feel like he's lightened up a little. Like I don't feel like kids respond the same way they did 15, 20 years ago to
No, they don't. They don't. But that's just how.
I feel like his younger coaches maybe get a little bit of the brunt now.
Yeah.
But let's do one more top 5, then I'll let you get out of here. I'm going to let you pick. All right. So I got 4 top 5 lists. You pick which one you want to do.
All right.
Do top 5 cheap meal foods, top 5 things people pretend to like, top 5 TV shows or movies, or top 5 fast food restaurants.
No, definitely cheap meals.
Cheap meals?
Yeah.
Cheap meal. All right, so top 5 top 5 cheap meal foods.
All right. Number 5, I'm going to go with, and these can be desserts too, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
anything.
So number 5 is going to be pizza.
Oh, man, pizza might be my number 1.
Well, I'm going to leave it there because I get a sweet tooth where I eat so healthy.
Yeah.
When I do have a cheap meal, it's got to have some sweets with it. So I'm going to go there. My next one would be sushi.
Another banger.
So that's usually my go-to now.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about all-time favorites. I'm gonna go a little deep here because definitely I know what number 1 is, and it goes right with my job occupation. So they can joke on that one. Number 3 would be my grandmother's fudge stripe delight. It's delicious.
What is that?
Oreos. I don't even know what all the ingredients
What
are.
is it?
Whipped
Is it like
cream.
a cake or something?
It's like a cake. It's like a double layered cake. It's delicious.
It sounds delicious.
It is. And I could eat probably half or more of the cake if I was really getting down. Number 2 is cheesecake. Predominantly the cheesecake up there at Gondolier.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I have sat down and eat 2 cheesecakes.
Like the full cheesecake?
Yes, I've ate my cheesecake and whatever Jet didn't eat, which was a lot, because Jet and Riley will just take a couple bites and I ate all their cheesecake. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can really eat some cheesecake.
I like cheesecake.
And number 1, this used to be my go-to. So I'd go eat whatever regular food I was going to eat, whether that's a burger or fries or something, which that's not my favorite, but sometimes I get an itch for it because I haven't had it in a long time, but I like it. But I would always stop by the IGA going out of Glasgow on the right and get blueberry donut holes.
Donut holes.
The little, those little.
Yeah.
I'd get the whole box. I'm talking about, and actually, Blake Stevens is the one that was always in there. When I'd ask him where's the donut holes at. I'd get the whole box and I'd eat every one of them before I got home.
Oh, man.
I'd be sicker than a dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Donut holes.
Donut holes. Delicious.
That's not.
Blueberry. And I love donuts in general. Oh, my gosh, I forgot one. I'm going to have to take one out.
If you had given me 50 guesses at your number 1, I wouldn't have guessed donut holes.
I'm going to come back 1. I'm going to erase pizza from this. And number 2 is going to be crumble cookie. I forgot about crumble cookie.
Crumble cookie's good.
Yeah. I've ate 4 crumble cookies.
Dude, you do have a sweet tooth.
I've ate 4.
4
in
of
one
your
sitting.
top 5?
After I ate hibachi,
I
ate a full hibachi meal and then got crumble cookie, ate all 4 cookies.
4 of your top 5 are sweets.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because when I did my cheat meals, I did cheat meals. But I stopped doing that after I figured out the kind of heart issues in my family.
Yeah.
So I stopped the sweet so much, and now I just do sushi for the most part.
I would have to have ice cream on mine somewhere.
Ice cream's pretty good.
I love a good bowl of ice cream.
But I have to have something to go with ice cream, like
like
brownies or something to go with.
I cover mine in like hot fudge, like the hot fudge you get at Walmart in a jar. But, man.
But yeah, sweets definitely are at the top of my list if I was really wanting to cheat.
Ice cream, and I'll tell you, when I was cutting weight for a fight, what I craved like for 6 weeks was a pizza, the 5-star pizza pocket. And then after the weight cut was over and I got like that first cheat meal in, I didn't crave it anymore. I never even got one.
See, after all my fights, I go to tournaments and stuff, competitions. I'll go get crumble cookie because when I'm away from home, because I don't get that at home. You know, I can get the donut hole if I wanted to do that at home.
Oh yeah,
but I love to go get those crumbles after
they're good.
Competition.
They're good.
They're really bad for you.
Yeah, they're
terribly.
Well, they're delicious though.
They are.
Well, brother, we're running on 7:40. Does it feel like that much time?
No, not really, man. No, it's good catching up.
It's good to see you. I really appreciate you doing this. Like I said, when World starts getting a little closer, keep me updated, and I'll post all your stuff, all your links and stuff. So
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Tune in and watch that. You got anything you want to plug before you get off here?
No, but like I said, if you guys are on the fence about jiu-jitsu, come check us out at 13 in Glasgow. I know I've already beat the bush on that pretty hard, but there's a Facebook link on. Get on Facebook, 13 Jiu-Jitsu. If you want the schedule, it's 8 a.m. to 9:30 in the morning, 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. or 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the evenings, Monday through Thursday, and then Friday it's just morning class.
I'll share a
8
link.
to
I'll share a
9:30.
link on my page when I put the episode up.
Yeah,
Jax just texted me and said, "How did the episode with Trent go?"
still on it. But
Shout
no,
out
I really
Jack.
appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
And we need to stay in touch. Man.
yeah, man.
Stay in
Hey,
touch.
if you're open to coming back on, we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
good with it. And like I said, I'd like to get like a bunch of us together and do like a group podcast episode sometime
Absolutely.
after I
Sounds
get the
good.
logistics figured out. But good catching up with you, brother. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you, brother.